We give praise, esteem, and honor to the Most High Yah by way of Yahushua HaMashiach this day, John 5:39. I understand what you're talking about, but like scripturally, it's not a lot of instances where a heathen came and told a Hebrew son, and he believed him over another Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how long a phenomenon that is, but I know it's been going on over here in America for quite some time. You know what I'm saying? That a nigga will believe a white man over his brother any day of the week. You know what I'm saying? That a brother could make a book about a particular topic and they not gonna believe it. But if that white man guess what? You got some black folks trucked in Dr. Spock. Ain't never seen this crack a day for in his life. I think he did. You know what I'm talking about? On how to raise children. And a lot of black folks raise their children from this Caucasian's point of view. But if another black person was to make a book about how to raise black children, a lot of them wouldn't give that person that same type of weight because they're not Dr. Spock. Well, this is the first thing a black person say. He ain't got no PhD. What school he went to? They don't do white people like that. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody ask what school you went. First thing a black person, what your qualification is. But why you ain't ask that white man what his qualifications were? Why? Is because he's white, he's automatically superior to me. Or the first thing people like to scream if you talk about something, what school you went to. What difference if I went to school or not? Just because you went to school does not make you an expert. Because there are a lot of expertly stupid people who went to a lot of universities. You know what I'm saying? Bill Gates didn't finish school. Ain't nobody gonna come and tell him he ain't no expert on software. I'm just saying it as an example because I've seen people do this, that just because you have some fancy degrees that means you know more than someone who doesn't. Just because you have those degrees does not make you an expert. Just because you have, guess what? It's a lot as she mentioned with theology school, it's a lot of dudes got a lot of theology degrees, don't know nothing about their book.
That's part of the illusion, though.
But I'm just saying it's the point of, and I'm using this as an example. If a doctor in theology was sitting right here, and I'm sitting right next to him, they gonna give more weight to that doctor in theology about this word than they would to me. What school you went to? What degree you got?
That's so different, though. That's part of the delusion. If we're talking about one topic, and there's someone who has a PhD in this topic, and then there's someone who's not.
Does that mean that person with that PhD is smarter than the person who's not?
That PhD first.
I'm not. I'm going to listen to the information that comes from both of them and weigh it accordingly. You know what that is? That's a sin. That's respect of persons.
It's not.
Oh, that's it. Listen what I'm telling you. Pause. No. Stop trying to be technical. I'm talking about this book. That is a sin. That is respect of persons. Because you've taken this person over here who has this and slotted and weighted them over this person who had this.
I'm not talking about off base. Someone who's dressed in nice clothes walking by.
But when he said that he used that as an example because he's talking about judgment. You just said that you would give more weight to the person with a piece of an expert according to who?
That's saying that you would favor Goliath over David.
That they had to do
Indeed. Now listen what he just told you. Okay, but guess what? So because this person doesn't have a PhD, he can't be an expert?
I didn't say that he.
But you just said that though.
I can for sure.
But how many people you know got a PhD that are dumb as a box of rocks?
They
cheated their way through school.
But what I'm telling you is, but listen what I'm telling you, that's how we tie back to the word so we can proceed. Scripturally, you have just committed a sin. You have not judged righteously because the reason being is you did not hear the information from the PhD, you didn't hear the information from the other person, and then judge who had the correct information. You automatically slotted yourself in the direction of the person who had the PhD over the person who did not, and that by the law in Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 15, that is respect of persons.
Okay, so I'm not going to go to a doctor next time.
No, that's not. Now, this is what I'm telling you. No, don't try to do that. This is, we talking about two people. No, we talking about two people sitting down giving information.
Okay, two people sitting down.
And you didn't say it was an illusion. And you went the doctor route. We just said a PhD. You chose the doctor route.
Okay.
We mentioned two people that have a this dude who got a PhD, because you actually destroyed your own premise. It's an illusion. So you just acknowledged that PhD is an illusion. You don't remember, regardless of what you said, you just did that. Your own words.
Analogy.
A PhD is an illusion, period. Guess what, though? You got doctors who have PhD in herbal medicine, and there's people who are holistic doctors that have way more knowledge and information than they do.
I'm listening to the PhD first.
So you have respect of persons.
Like I said, but that's the same thing with David and Goliath. David was a shepherd. That man had no expertise in war at all. This man Goliath got bodies. expert trained in war. You saying that you gonna favor Goliath because he's an expert at war, and he got slid.
Okay, I put it to you this way.
It's the same
There were
thing.
people who were sent to kill Goliath already, and they were too afraid to do so.
What? That don't matter.
It still doesn't matter.
It don't matter.
You had experts who were sent and they failed the task.
So you probably would have more so favored Goliath because you just saw him slay everybody else.
John 5:39. Let's roll. Yeah, you did. Nah, you lost that round. We're gonna go back and we're gonna wait and we're gonna come back for round 3. You lost that round.
There's a PhD dude. There's a dude from.
Okay, I put it to you this way. Let's kill all this here. Let's use business as an example. You can have somebody who got a PhD in business. Would you listen to them over Jay-Z or Biggs or Dame or 50 who have no PhD in business but they're multi-billionaires?
If I'm looking for the technical side, PhD first.
You technical over practical? I got $1 billion. This nigga has nothing. Oh my
Don't
life.
learn like you. Jay-Z could have a whole bunch.
But guess what? Okay, you know what? And guess what you're gonna be? Guess what you're gonna be? Listen.
From somebody who speaks like me.
You know why? You know what you're gonna be? You know what you're gonna be?
Just as much bad as that.
As he is. So this is that. He would listen. Okay, you talking about screw a thesis? This nigga got $1 billion. So this nigga over here with no money can't teach me nothing. Cause all this nigga, hold on, stop, Doc. What did that white lady tell us Thursday? Don't buy you a book of a nigga to tell you step 1, step 2, step 3. Get you a book of somebody who's actually done it. You can't learn something from a nigga with a PhD who, well, I got $100,000 in school debt. I've never owned a business in my life, but I can tell you how to run one versus a nigga who got multi-million-dollar businesses. Who am I going to listen to? The nigga with the cash.
On the job, they say,
But so what? You know what you sound like? You know what you sound like, dog? No, you know what you sound like? You sound like a career student who does not want to practically apply information after learning it.
I want to get the information first. If I can't learn,
that goes.
Jay-Z can teach me, or the PhD can.
Jay-Z can teach you more because he can show you what to do and what not to do because he's done it. The PhD nigga's never done nothing.
He hasn't made mistakes.
He hasn't done it. All he can tell you is, according to market flow economics, you know what I'm saying? That's all he can tell you.
I act like you just magically get a PhD.
But guess what? Jay-Z ain't got no PhD, and he got more money than all these niggas.
That doesn't lessen the weight of the PhD.
You're looking at a PhD with value, though.
Who would you eat?
It doesn't.
You can't get that value without
All I
earning.
hear she listening to.
Let's roll. John 5:39.
They're studying the law. Wanna go with the
You go
learned
to
man?
school and learn better than you going to Bill Gates.
Bill Gates ain't been working Microsoft in so long, man.
It don't make
He created. We out of here.
And go take a walk.
I'm talking about just go get you a cup of Sanka. John 5:39. We got to go. Go get you a cup of Sanka, baby.
Get out of here.
Crazy for not this.
That's just like how you
Where your whistle at, Stanley?
The whistle.
Hold on. What I got like this here?
No.
That's a flag on the plate, nigga. 15 y'all. Matter of fact, when they do it like this here, red cards.
Yeah. That's why I like the soccer ref. That's what
Okay, that's a good statement. That's it. Hold on. Pause. Doc, let's stop. We're gonna kill that. I'm gonna use the book for it. John 5:39 and Matthew chapter 7 verse 20. I use the book for that. Because I was already thinking about what she just said. He said it too. We gonna use the book for that. Come on.
Search the scriptures for any of you think ye have eternal life, and they will testify of me.
What else?
And ye would not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men.
But what?
But I know you.
What
that
else?
You have not the love.
That's good. Matthew 7 and 20. And then we're going to get that James chapter 2 for you. And Deuteronomy chapter 10, because that's respective. Nothing beats actual practicality. Just like I said, you got a lot of brothers that study the word day in and day out. Indeed, Johnny, we just told her this the other day. Experience beats education. Experience is the best teacher, because there's a lot of people who study this book day in and day out. And what does the book say? What makes you be of strong meat, be able to be a full age to have strong meat? What does the book say you got to do? You got to use it. So if you don't, you can read these scripts all day, every day, but if you don't use it, it means absolutely nothing. A nigga who ain't living this book can't teach me nothing about this book. I don't care what he got on his belt. I don't care how many degrees he got. So a nigga who got degrees, who ain't never ran a business in his life, can't tell me nothing about running no business.
Guess what though? They have to read the book first too.
No, Jake, what books it? Them niggas read books, but actually, some people hustlers.
You got to read the book.
No, what book? What book?
The book of the people that already did it.
Who already did it?
So it's the same
Yeah,
book.
book you
There's
reading is
no
about
other
experience.
book
It's
for
experience.
scripture. If we're keeping it on the scriptural plane,
And
and no other book for scripture, you have to read that scriptural book. And
But you-
people have to judge you by your fruit.
No, but guess what? You're not, Dom, you're not listening. You're not listening. You got niggas who read this book who don't do it, so it means absolutely nothing. They can tell you all the story. Listen before you respond. Because know what I'm talking about? You got niggas who read this book all day, every day, can tell you about all the stories, many concepts, but they can't show you anything practical because they don't live it.
And like I said, you have to read the book first, then you bear fruit, and people have to.
But what are you read? What are you reading about in the
If
book?
you have the fruit of the scripture, JV don't sit here and have the fruit of the.
But we talking about, but he got fruit of doing
So he
business.
has fruit of a different thing.
We talking about of doing business.
Right, of doing.
So what? Okay. So to use your analogy, what fruit does the PhD man have?
He has a PhD. What you
That's
mean?
not fruit though.
That's not fruit.
That's not fruit.
What fruit does he have? Okay, but what you mean? What I'm talking about? Okay, I'm gonna show you the fallacy. I'm gonna show you the fallacy of what you say. You know how asinine you have to be to get a PhD and never open a business? You know how stupid you gotta be? So you went to school for 10 years and went into massive debt and never hustled a day in your life? You're an idiot.
How are they working through their practice?
How many other people work through their practices? They get in debt working at the old corner store, working out here. What would you like? Would you like cheesecake with your
That's
meal?
so true. 'Cause my
Come on, man.
She told me she in debt. She got 50. She still in debt.
You can be in debt.
Hey, let's leave that alone. John, Matthew 7:20. Let's leave that alone. Because you sound crazy right now.
In the 1920s and the 1930s, you had black people opening businesses and were very successful. Never went to school.
It's called Black Wall Street. And they destroyed it. Never went to school.
Okay.
Never went to school.
I'm not
They were
saying
barbed.
You better stop trusting the people degrees, boy. You sound like a 14th Amendment and a good nigga. Now come on, Matthew 7:20.
Look,
Matthew 7:20.
wherefore, by their fruit shall you know them. Not everyone that says to me, Master, Master, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that does the will of my Father which is in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Many will say to me that day, Master, Master, have we not prophesied in thy name?
Mm-hmm.
And in thy name have cast out many devils,
Many.
and in thy name have done many wonderful works.
Many.
And then I will profess unto them, I never knew you.
I don't know you, nigga.
Depart from me, ye that work iniquity.
Go ahead.
Wherefore, whosoever heareth these things of mine and doeth them,
And what?
and doeth them,
Oh, man. So the master say you can't just learn. You got to apply. Go ahead.
I will liken him to a wise man,
So if you hear and don't apply, you're stupid. Go ahead.
which is built his house upon a rock.
Go ahead.
And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell not. For
Yeah.
it was founded upon a rock.
Upon a rock.
And everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand.
We didn't come there for that. We came for what's after this. Go ahead.
The rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon the house, and it fell.
And it fell.
And great was the
Keep
fall
going, keep
of
going.
it. And it came to pass when Yahushua had ended these sayings, the people were astonished.
They were what?
Astonished.
Now, what was Yahushua's occupation?
Carpenter.
What did the people say about him when they saw him? They said, how does this man have this great wisdom? Don't we know his mama and his daddy? Who this nigga think he is? And keep on going.
For he taught them as one having authority.
Having what?
Authority.
Why would he have authority, Stanley?
Why would he have authority?
They're saying that he taught them as one having authority.
He's confident in what he believes.
So, but what if he had authority? And that's true. So basically, you got faith, and you know what else you would have? Actual application. You know what I'm saying? Because the only way you can have an authority, to be really truly an authority on any subject or topic, is to actually do it. If you don't actually do it, I can't consider you to be an expert. I can't consider you to be an authority. You know what I'm saying? It was the same way. I think I seen a clip on CNN, and it was some two dudes. They were talking about money markets. And the dude, he was a Trump supporter. You could tell he didn't know what he was talking about. He tried to, I can't remember, I think his name is Ali's son. He be tripping me out. He tried to size the dude on CNN, and the dude on CNN said, hey man, check this out, buddy. Don't play with me like this. I've been doing money market research and dealing with the markets for 17 years. You better try somebody who don't know no better. Because the dude who was talking had no experience or authority in the particular topic. The man who he was, but what I'm saying is, you got to keep that to yourself, we deal with it later. I'm just telling you an example, a real life example. The Trump supporter, the Trump supporter had no idea what he was talking about. The people on CNN were letting it be known that, or MSNBC, whatever network it was, that we have experience in this because we've been doing it for 20 years. Regardless how long, like I said, because I've seen a lot of people who went to college for years and can't do anything because they never put it into action. Experience is going to be, because you can learn. This is the same way, okay, with that real estate stuff, right? When I was 17, how it was coming was get books and read about it. But when I came back around it this time around, I say, no, I need to find a mentor, someone who has actually flipped a home, wholesaled a home, and did all of this here, because I can't learn this from no textbook. I need to learn this from someone who is actually doing it. Now, you come down with the word, I don't want to be taught the word by someone who is not actually living it, because he can't tell me anything. That's like two baseless trying to get each other off crack. Somebody has to stop smoking crack to teach the other person to stop smoking crack. If you just telling me, I read a book about how you can put down crack cocaine. Well, why you ain't put it down yet, nigga? You know what I'm saying? You read me about how to be set apart. Well, why you ain't set apart, nigga? So coming from that's a nigga who's full of crap. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just a book smart nigga, but you really dumb. That's how we look at it. You know what I'm saying? In our environment, that nigga know a lot of stuff. That nigga dumb though. Or they gonna be like, well, what have you ever done? You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of people get offended if you tell them how to raise their kids and they've never done it. Because they gonna say, nigga, how do you know? You can't give me nothing, all that. Don't tell me what Dr. Spock say. What do you know when this 3-year-old in this kitchen acting a fool? How you gonna handle it? Don't tell me what this book say. Tell me what you gonna do. And if you've never had that experience, you can't put forth that information. That's why most people, especially black people, put more weight on experience than a textbook. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you that.
I think that's because we could get education before, so we had to go on.
No, because the best education is literal experience.
No, I'm so serious.
But see, and again,
Experience is part of education.
experience is a part of education. It's the best teacher.
I agree.
So-
Well, you're going to invest in the value of something that you can't.
Okay, now Kira just made a strong point. That's why the colleges want you to do internships so you can get experience. Because what happens when you go on a lot of these jobs? You got all these degrees, but they won't hire you because you ain't got no experience.
Exactly. So then going back to the whole PhD thing, places versus.
So again, you're proving our point with the PhD thing, because people want someone who has actual experience.
That to get the PhD, you have to have practical experience.
But what I'm saying is a lot of dudes who have MBA PhDs have never ran a business before in their life. They're career students.
That's what
That
he's
doesn't mean
saying.
they don't have experience.
If you never run a business, you don't have experience.
So
That doesn't mean they don't have.
listen what he's saying.
They just
You
got
have to
information.
run a business. For you to get an MBA, a master's in business, or a PhD in business, you might have had practical experience working at a business. You have not had practical experience running a business from start to finish, being a CEO of a business. You haven't had that experience. You might have worked at a business, so you might know how a business
It's different.
works, but you have never run a business.
Abilities that would further.
You know what you sound like? You sound like someone who's never run a business. So then you can't say that.
Yeah, that's what it's
Then you can't. An internship is not the same of owning and running. You know how we can say this? This man owns a company. We own a company. He owns a company. It's different than working at one. Because you know what you have to be concerned with? What did we hear that lady say about if you run a restaurant? If you working at McDonald's, you ain't worried about no food costs.
You ain't worried about inventory.
You ain't worried about none of that. That's
the checks getting cut.
you know what I'm saying?
Who's looking for it?
It's a
Ready for the truck to come.
But I didn't expect that if we were talking, okay, BA level.
no, but guess what? What I'm telling you is, I have rarely seen in my lifetime multiple men who have PhDs in business that own a business and it was successful.
To get a business PhD, you don't have to run a business.
You don't. It's not a
I went
requirement.
to business school. You don't have to run a
Most
business to
people,
get the degree.
most people with PhDs are teachers. They ain't done nothing. I had to take business law a lawyer, was our business law teacher. He said you can't learn nothing from somebody that has not done it.
You can.
My business law teacher was a lawyer.
That's true. I'm not refuting that.
Clearly you are. Continuing on.
I'm refuting that the PhD doesn't have any value.
It doesn't. It doesn't have value to somebody. I'm not listening to a nigga with a PhD over a billionaire. Because there's nothing you can tell me. It's just like Jay put it on 22 That nigga say, nigga, you broke, nigga. What the F you gonna tell me? What can you tell me you ain't got no money?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's like a nigga talking about, yeah, boy, when I was hustling, I'm not listening to this broke penny nigga over here, man. I'm listening to this nigga got this weight.
How does that not respect the person?
Because you got more experience in what you talking about. I can hear what you talking about, and I can hear what you talking about, and I'm gonna lean to the person clearly who knows what they're talking about. I'm not looking at him just because you got weight, you know what you talking about.
At the end of the day, you may end up, I may do the same thing, but that doesn't mean that I'm not listening to the PhD.
No, we asked you who would you put weight on, and you said you would put weight on the PhD nigga over the billionaire.
That's what my words were. I'm going to listen to the PhD first. I'm always going to do that. Even
That's
if
not
the PhD
wise.
doesn't have,
That's not wise.
we don't, no.
That's
We
not
don't go
wise.
back to that point.
That's not wise.
Even if the PhD doesn't know what I'm looking to learn, okay, I'll go to the next person. But that's a Q, and PhD is at the top.
A PhD means absolutely nothing to me.
No, that's true.
I work
No, what he said, he was like, well, most people that go to school.
That's trained.
Yeah, I know that's trained.
That's their trained thought.
Yeah, I know that's trained.
I work.
I wasn't never on that, but I was in the street first though. That's why
I know that. I already told her. We already stated she trusts in the system, in the educational system. You trust that. You trust that.
Those people are dumb as a box of rocks.
That's like people who go hard.
They couldn't fight. They just cut their way out.
Get you to hustle. That's how they hustle.
They know that.
Because I like how 50 put it, and we'll continue on. 50 say, I ain't never went to Harvard, but the people who work for me did. Ain't that son? You went to Harvard to get a PhD in business and work for an ex-drug dealer
who ain't never been to school.
who ain't never been to school in their life.
But they running their
50.
game too. That's how they run their game.
No, because he had a statement saying, I never went to Harvard, but the people who work for me have. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's lovely. That's gangster. Then where we come from, we love that. We love that where we come from. You know what I'm saying? You know how many probably PhDs and NBA people work for Jay? Probably work for Biggs, probably work for Dame, and they like these old broke, hood, ghetto niggas. And you gotta say yes sir, no sir to him. Gotta love that. You gotta love that.
You act like there's some animosity in that. You want someone to work for as a PhD person.
No, I don't care. I want the best person to work for me, period. Just because you got a PhD doesn't mean I'm gonna hire you. Because you could be stupid. Do you know what I'm saying? Because to be honest, the whole European construct of education is based on memorization. So just because you can memorize information and spit it back does not mean you're smart. That does not mean you're intelligent.
Outside of math,
Yeah.
everything outside of real mathematics.
And science is memorization.
I actually had a psychologist.
It's memorization.
Standardized testing is memorizing and regurgitating. That's how
It is. That's why you have to find a way to make them rigorous.
So that don't mean you learn it.
So that doesn't mean you're smart.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you're intelligent.
You don't just base not.
Nevertheless, come on, we gotta leave that alone.
I'm just so.
But now, well, yes, since we moving on, I ain't gonna say.
Yes.
Who was that the last person?
Get that last verse out of there.
He said, for he taught them as one having authority and not as described.
And not as the scribes. And the scribes were trained. But Kira just said, who the dude that created college, did he go? Ain't it though? That is funny though. Go ahead and give me Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 14. You know he didn't because he made it up. You know how dumb, I'm gonna show you how dumb niggas is. In Chronicles, when they talk about Huldah the prophetess, dudes say, see, she was a teacher. See, she dwelt in the college. I say, stupid nigga, that's a suburb. You better go check with that word.
Standardized testing is not coming.
Come on, Mom, leave that alone. We done with that.
10 and 4,
10 and 14.
14. Behold, the heaven is the heavens of heaven, and Yahuwah is thy Elohim,
Yeah.
the earth also with all that is therein.
Mm-hmm.
Only Yahuwah had delight in the fathers to love them.
Yep.
He chose their seed after them.
Yep.
Even you above all people,
Yep.
as it is this day.
Yep.
Circumcise therefore the foreskin of your heart,
Yep.
and ye no more stiff.
Don't be stiff necked.
For Yahuwah your Elohim is Elohim of Elohim.
Yes, sir.
Yahuwah is masters. Yahuwah of hosts is a great Elohim, mighty and terrible, which regardeth not persons.
He what?
Regardeth not persons, nor taketh reward.
So he doesn't regard persons. So he doesn't, because he tells you that, I think it's in, give me Job 34. See, and like this here, because the reason, the key point why we did just go ahead to look at that is that the fourth of is that you have to judge a man based on how he rolls. I don't think that's the particular verse that I want though. I got the chapter wrong. I really believe I got the chapter wrong. Dang. Give me a second. Should have brought my book with me.
For me, this one's the hardest.
What? Book of Job? Why is it difficult for you, sir?
I don't know. It just seems like
It's a lot going on.
yeah, it's so much.
Hold on.
There's so much to take in.
It's a lot going on in the book of Job. He said this is a hard book for him to put his arms around. Anybody else feel that way?
It's just a lot.
It is a lot.
I'm
I'm not.
It's a lot to receive.
I have no. You won't get no qualms out of me. Yeah, it was Job 34. I'm just tripping, not trusting my own brain. 34 and 15. I mean, I can give you that. The reason of being because you have 5 different conversations going on. You have 5 different people speaking in the book of Job. You got Job, you got his 3 friends, and you got the young man. Do you know what I'm saying? Actually 6, because then you got Yah coming in on the back end. Do you know what I'm saying? But you know, it's a lot of stuff to isolate, so I definitely could see where that perspective would come from. You know what I'm saying? Because it's sometimes I can guarantee that sometimes when y'all be reading, you be probably missing when somebody else goes to talking and the last person stopped talking. You know what I'm saying? So it seemed to be running together. The only thing I tell you to be able to kind of to change that a little bit is when you read in that particular chapter. If you like, say you pick chapter 30 and it don't say who's speaking, to just go back 1 chapter till you see who's talking. You know what I'm saying? And then boom, once you see the next person talking, it might make it a little bit easier to grasp what they got going on. Go ahead.
34 and 15?
Yes, sir.
It said, all flesh shall perish together,
Mm-hmm.
a man shall turn again unto dust.
Mm-hmm.
It said, if now thou hast understanding, hear this.
Hear this.
Hearken to the voice of my words.
Mm-hmm.
Shall even he that hateth right govern?
Well, hold on. Okay, it said even who?
He that hateth right govern?
So you think people that hate doing right, should they have authority and rule? And that's what that's harkening back, praise the Lamb, what we were talking about. These people hate doing right and they rule. So this is why that I have an utter contempt for not just the United States of America system, but the whole world system as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Because they hate to do the things that's wrong. What did that video we just put in there? Trans age? These people promote that. I believe I'm a 10-year-old. No, you're 37, nigga. You're not 10.
You have a wife.
I just seen a grown man. How many of y'all know Tommy Sotomayor? You ever heard of that dude? He says a lot of negative things about black people, black women specifically, in a lot of videos. This man did a video and said that he took showers with his 8 or 9-year-old daughter, and that he began to stop taking showers with his 8 or 9-year-old daughter when she kept looking back at his genitals. Then he actually posted a video on his channel where he was standing with a robe on and said, "Hey baby, look at this." And she said, "No daddy, no." And he threw it off, but he had jeans on. But he was playing as if he was going to flash his daughter. Clearly for her reacting in this fashion, this may have not been the first time he had done this. You know what I'm saying? Now I've heard of the nigga for years. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they had a conscious community event, somebody punched him in his face.
I was about to say, that's what I was thinking.
But not because of that, because of the vitriol that he speaks in regards to y'all. He speaks about black women very, very, very bad. No, I don't think he married no white. Some of the stuff that he says, there is truth in it, and the only reason why it's truth in it is because that certain segments of our people do certain things to reinforce his viewpoint. One of the fun, like when we first heard of the dude, one of the funniest things, he called weave a hair hat. You know what I'm saying? And that was hilarious to me the first time I heard it. You know what I'm saying? He was like these hair-hatted hooligans and all this other type of stuff. But then you got that dude, like that big muscular dude that be making videos. What I think his name is, Derek something, whatever he calls himself. Like, that nigga's a simp. You know what I'm saying? But people love him though. Because I heard this dude say, "I'm not going to say a woman can't raise a man to be a man because I'm biased. I come from a single parent home." Then you sound like an idiot. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you talking about Derek Jackson.
Yeah. I've seen like some of the stuff that he says is true, but then some of the stuff that he say, you can tell he's a simp. Do you know what I'm saying? Because he's pandering to a particular audience. You know, Tommy Sotomayor, when he speaks, he's pandering to a particular audience. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I'm mentioning this here, because I shared the dude's video himself, who said that everybody should boycott Africa Bambaataa. because I watched this man's interview himself that he spoke about how Africa Bambaataa molested him. This man said he actually had flashbacks when he's having quarters with his wife and automatically don't want to have sex no more. And they said this man has been, some of y'all don't know who Africa Bambaataa is, but he's an old hip hop entertainer. You know, got a song called Planet Rock. You probably heard Planet Rock and just didn't know that was Africa Bambaataa. You know what I'm saying? But they say he had been molesting children for over 30 years.
I ain't gonna listen to that.
What, Planet Rock? I ain't listened to Bambaataa in years. You know what I'm saying? But it's the fact of that niggas didn't want to believe that Africa Bambaataa could touch children because he's Africa Bambaataa. See, the Zulu Nation. Any of y'all ever heard of Zulu Nation?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that was an actual street gang before it morphed into what it is now. You know what I'm saying? And they were molesting children. You know what I'm talking about? But it's the fact of that the dude played the clip of this Tommy dude talking about what he would do with his. He taught his 9-year-old daughter, don't spend the night at a man's house unless you're gonna give him some butt. This is what he's teaching his 9-year-old daughter. While the whole time he disrespects black women on a consistent and regular basis. You know what I'm talking about? So you have to pay attention to that type of stuff. Go ahead. Where we at now? Still in Deuteronomy? No, we in Job. Keep going.
15.
The reason why I say that those that are right, because now these, I said all that to say this. Those individuals themselves are truly responsible for their behavior. But some of that stuff comes down to what Proverbs 3:31 says about envy not your oppressor and don't choose any of his ways. And that's what our people have done, because we are envious of the titles, the degrees, the jobs, the cars, the home. Because you know what, and the reason why, you know why I say this here? Because when you go back to the 50s, 60s, and 70s, all the elite black athletes went to FAM, Grambling, Alcorn State. This is where they went. Because Alabama and Clemson and Maryland, they would not accept them. But the whole time, these young black athletes were actually envious of going to these institutions. The minute they allowed them to go to these institutions, they stopped going to BCC. They stopped going to Savannah. They stopped going to these schools. They don't go there no more. You know what I'm talking about? Because they wanted what their oppressor had. And that's the point of what we were referring to when we talk about eliminating the system of white supremacy. Why do black people move in a white neighborhood, and what's the first thing they said? We made it. You feel secure about yourself because you surrounded by white people. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of our people do that. They get a little bit of change and they move in them white neighborhoods, and that's how they feel. We done made it now. See that I stay next to such and such and stay next to such and such. You know what I'm saying? That's why that picture that I posted of gentrification, because, and my man in Harlem was telling me this here, you got them white folks standing in front of Marcy Projects doing all this here because it's cool, because they got homes where they stay right across the street from the projects, because they done moved all these niggas from out of here, and they think it's funny to go stand up and post it. We're throwing up the rock, the dynasty sign, where niggas is around here living in abject poverty every day. You know what I'm saying? Where they getting harassed by the police, beat by the police, harassing each other, oppressing each other. Niggas ain't got no jobs. You know, black people are the last hired and the first fired. Every time there's an economic downturn, who has the highest rate of unemployment? Black people do. And it's all because that we rely on them. We trust them. We want what they have. And that's just the reality of it. That's just the reality of it. Like what DC was talking about, dudes wanting to be famous. Why do you want to be famous? Because of the construct that they have made to make you feel like this the life you want to live, and you feel like you do. You don't hear white people say, I'm the black Nelson Mandela. I'm the white Nelson Mandela. I'm the white Martin Luther King. A nigga be quick to say, I'm the black JFK. Huh? Niggas be quick to say, I'm the black Vito Corleone, or I'm the black such and such, or the black such and such. But white people don't do that, because they're the oppressor. They're not envying anyone. We're envying them and want to emulate their behavior, and the book told us not to do it. Just make it a point.
I know, but I'm saying, like, that has less to do with what the schools were doing and more about us as a people holding our own people accountable. How can you hold someone accountable when you ain't never been, you don't know what accountability is? That's what you're meant. See, you can say that again because you want to look at it from your perspective. Most of our people don't know what accountability is. You know what messed our people up the most? Is children having children.
So if you're a child yourself, you're 15, 16 years old, you can't raise a child because you're still one yourself. What can you teach them? You can't teach them nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that cycle perpetuates. And then we're not even talking about the advent of crack cocaine and what that did to numerous generations. Because you were probably still a twinkle in your father's eye when crack cocaine came out. Do you know what I'm saying? And that destroyed. And you know what they made crack cocaine for? To destroy the civil rights movement, to wipe off the last vestiges of it. You know what I'm saying? To get you to that point to where, because our people have always been envious. Why you think that Malcolm X had that junk in his head in the 30s and 40s? Because you want to be white. Our people want to be black.
And white.
What you
He
mean?
said you didn't read that book.
You didn't read that, and it said it in the movie.
I didn't read anything about Malcolm X. So I don't know.
That's a pity. Nevertheless,
Yeah.
I'm just saying that. You can say that all you want to. Why do black people perm their hair? Your hair don't grow like that. Why you got blonde hair? It's not many black people hair blonde. Do you know what I'm saying? Niggas bleaching their skin. Why you bleaching it? Niggas change the way they talk around white people.
But we still want to have, what's her name, celebrating because she's been over the hot home. We can't have it both ways.
I'm not trying to celebrate Madam C.J. Walker.
I'm just saying.
But why did she come up with the hot comb in the first place is what you got to look at. Because you try, what that nigga told him in Malcolm X, you're around here trying to be white. Do you know what I'm saying? You know what white people like to do? They like to act like they from the hood, but then they don't have to actually go there and live there. That's the thing for them. We can pretend to be black, but we don't have to go through their suffering. I don't have to endure that while you sitting around here talking about you want to be. Everybody clown about it. Everybody know black women got their white people voice when they get on the phone. You know what I'm talking about? Talk totally different. Get off the phone and talk to their own people, and it's completely different. What? You got your white people voice on. White people don't have to do that. They don't have to do that. Because we have been taught to not actually love and appreciate ourselves in the state that Yah made us. In every aspect, period. We want to be like them. That's why what Jay was meaning on, a nigga will talk trash because LeVar Ball got a pair of $500, $600 sneakers, but throw a pair of Gucci sneakers on in a heartbeat. Do you know what I'm saying? I was talking to the other day, if I had the bread, I don't even wear basketball sneakers like that. I would buy a pair of this nigga's shoes just on general principle. Because you know how, I'm going to show you how black people hate each other and they envy their oppressor in one way. LeVar Ball got his own company. He went to Nike, he went to Adidas, he went to Under Armour. He didn't say we want a sponsorship. He said we can do a partnership and we can get money together. Niggas, oh, that nigga stupid. You ain't nobody. How you gonna come in and tell them white folks you gonna do that? Cause it's mine, nigga. That's how. Because you want them people money so bad and the prestige that it come of being a Nike athlete, an Under Armour athlete, that you don't have enough brain to say we can get money together. I'll get money on my own. It's your choice. And that's from envying your oppressor. You want what he has. You want what he got. You want to be him. And that has to be eliminated. That has to be eliminated. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, man. We're in verse 15.
It says, all flesh shall perish together, and a man shall turn again into dust. Mm-hmm. If now thou hast understanding, hear this, hearken to the voice of my word.
Go ahead.
Shall even he that hateth the right govern?
Go ahead.
And wilt thou condemn him that is most just?
Will you condemn? Did they not do that to Mashiach? They condemned him who was most just. But let's look at the next thing he said.
Is it fit to say to a king, thou art wicked, and to princes ye are ungodly?
Ain't that what they did to Mashiach? They definitely called him wicked, said he was a blasphemer. Go ahead.
How much less to him that accepteth not the person of princes, nor regardeth the rich more than the poor, for they all are works of his hands.
And that's the point where we talking about not having respect to person. Because y'all don't care if you mighty, he don't care if you rich, he's going to judge a man based off his work. But see, you can sit there and shake that, but regardless, this is a spiritual concept that you got to be able to understand. Because the only reason why I'm saying it, you ain't got to say not nary word, because we never go back and forth on that. What we talking about is this here. You looking at it is, regardless of what you're seeking from that person, it is irrelevant. In your brain, you already feel like the person with the PhD knows more. and that they're more of an expert. You already feel that way.
And you already feel like
No, I don't.
experience knows more
No,
than
but
I do.
again, I have no. What I'm saying is that if I sat down, because what you missed was I'm just going to go with the experienced person. You see, you didn't listen. I'm going to listen to what the PhD person has to say, and I'm going to listen to what the person who has more experience has to say, and then I'm going to judge between that.
And what I said was, I'm gonna listen to the PhD.
But no, you had said, you said, see, listen what you said, listen first. I'm not going to listen to anybody first. It just happens to who I may come across first. I may come across the person with experience first. I may come across the person with the PhD. If they both sitting right there, I'm not going to say, let me hearken to you first because you got the PhD. It doesn't matter who speaks first.
Because for me, I don't discard or disregard the PhD's fruit, which could be their understanding.
But no, because what is your definition of fruit? How do you get fruit? You get fruit by reason of application. So if the PhD person you can't have fruit if you've never done it. You can't. No, they say you have information, but you don't have any fruit because you've never done it. No, the information is not. No, information is not your fruit. The book says different. Your fruit, he say, by your fruits you will know
That's why
them.
we read the book. The book, not the fruit, is what you.
It's what you produce from it.
No, I agree.
So that's why we got to go no further, because the reason what I'm saying is you said your fruit was your information. Your fruit is not your information.
Because I'm not talking about the information that a PhD could tell me about a subject as being the textbook itself. They read a textbook, they went through the schooling, they did the work, they put in their time in their practicum, in their internship, they wrote their papers, they wrote their thesis, they done went before the board, they done got all that work done, they're ready.
And they have not ran a single business and made a single dollar. So they have no fruit.
It's important for them to have their fruit.
That's not. Listen. The premise. You missing the premise was running a business. So all you told me is I wrote a lot of papers and talked to a lot of people, but I've never done it. So therefore, I have never produced any fruit. I've never made a profit. I've never taken a loss. I've never moved inventory.
You're asking the PhD person
About action.
running a business.
Right, I'm consulting somebody, right? I'm
Who's
consulting
never.
them.
So okay, would you consult a sinner on how to live godly?
Why would I?
So why would I consult a PhD nigga on how to run a business he never did it?
The PhD has
What work has he done? Experiencing what?
years.
Experiencing. So yes or no question, dog. Yes or no question. Because that's like she told you the other day. You use too many words when you could just cut a show. Yes or no question. Does he have experience in running a business or not if he has a PhD?
No.
So then he doesn't have any fruit because he's never
You're
done it.
asking him about running a business. So if the fruit is the information is running the business, and that's the information you're trying to gather, he doesn't have any information for you about
Because
that.
you're using an all or nothing.
That's life, dog.
Continuum that I can't accept what you're saying, because there's not. You can bear fruit. That doesn't mean you're gonna bear the same amount every time.
No, you can only bear, look, dog, and we're going to just kill it. You can only bear fruit by doing. You can't bear fruit by learning. Because what does the book say? Ever learning, never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. So you learned, but because we're not going to go through all that. The book says we're going to deal with what God said and not your personal feelings, and this applies across the board. The book says the good ground is that receive the seed and does it. And he bears forth fruit. Every other type of ground did not bear fruit. The seed by the wayside didn't bear no fruit. The seed in the stony places didn't bear no fruit. The seed that got choked off didn't bear no fruit. The only one that bared fruit was the one who actually did it. If you don't do it, you can't bear fruit. You just got a whole lot of information for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So if a person has not done it, they can't really teach you anything practical. All they can give you is information. Information of which you have not done yourself. So therefore, I'm going to listen to you and I'm going to listen to him, but I'm going to give weight more after hearing to the person who actually has experience over the nigga who just been learning it for 20 years. Because you haven't done anything. So in practicality, you can't teach me anything. If I wanted to learn how to be a parent, I'm going to go talk to somebody who's raised children. You know what I'm saying? If I'm having my first child, you know who you usually go talk to? Your parents, your grandparents, maybe your aunts, maybe your uncles, and other people in your life, because they can give you tips and pointers on how to raise your child because they have practical experience. I'm not going to listen to a nigga from PhD in child psychology and he ain't got no kids. Because what can he teach me about raising? Well, the textbook says you ought to do. Well, where your kids at, nigga? So you can't tell me anything because you don't have the experience. I don't care. I'm gonna listen to somebody with 15 kids over a nigga with a PhD with no kids at all.
Because you read it from somebody who probably
had no kids himself.
Research based. That's the whole point.
It doesn't matter.
But that's what's experience? That's not research based.
So you mean to tell me? So hold on. So Doc. So you mean to tell me 20, 30 years of raising 15 children ain't research based? You mean to tell me there's not trial and error and scientific method that go into that?
Trial and error. I'm saying it doesn't.
We'll deal with you later. Come on. It does if you ain't got no kids.
There's a lady at my school trying to tell me about raising kids. I'm like, you can't tell me I'm having children. She has a degree. She has 2 degrees.
Let's move on. First Chronicles 16 and 11. First Chronicles 16 and 11.
But everything that she does, so it's just like, she may not be a parent, but she's researched it enough to actually be qualified.
How?
Oh no!
How?
Never.
You smoke crack.
You qualify. Get high, you qualify.
At a certain point, you have to start.
Get high, you qualify.
I don't respect no one who's never. It's like this here. A nigga with a PhD. I got a PhD, so I'm gonna respect you, and you ain't did nothing. No, guess what? I would respect her more, or her more, or her more over a nigga with a PhD in child psychology. You know why? Because her child's right there, and her child's right there, and her child's right there.
And like I said,
I don't respect that.
We can't go for it regardless.
I ain't going for it. I already told you that. First Chronicles 16 and 11.
The PhD is proof itself.
No, it's not. It's proof that white people taught you, and you can do what white people tell you to do. That's what that's proof of. You better stop trusting them white people now. They don't care for you. They don't love you now. They don't love you. They don't love you now. I'm trying to tell you. I love you. The white folks don't love you. I love you enough to tell you. The white folks don't love you. You better stop trusting white people. I don't trust no PhD. I don't trust them. Come on. Because that means you trust in the white man's educational system, and that I do not.
Africa has the education system.
Well, we ain't in Africa's pen. Ain't no. Guess what? We talking about America's pen. Like they said, don't go to swing at no Africa. We're not in Africa. We're not in the Sudan. We're not in Libya. We're not in the Cameroon. Come on. 1 Corinthians 16 and Chronicles 16 and 11. I want y'all to get 1 Chronicles 16 and 11. What it is? 2 Chronicles chapter 11. 2 Chronicles chapter 15. So get your 2 Chronicles 11 and 15, and we're gonna pick up again dealing with strength. Go ahead, sir.
1 Chronicles 16 and 11.
Yes, sir.
Seek Yahuwah
Yes, sir.
in his strength. Seek his face continually.
Uh-huh.
Remember his marvelous works that he have done.
That's good. Now you remember he said to seek. The first word for seek was the bakaz, right? I think you might have got it upside down.
It got to be from right to left.
No, it was darash. No, I'm talking about the word. Darash is the first word for seek.
Oh no, this the Rosh.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about his fourth in the text.
Oh my bad.
No, you're all right. But the second word for seek in that verse is bakash, which is something totally different. So what do we get from that? We get the destruction that separates to get you in the house, correct?
Other way.
Oh, you got it. Nevertheless, you understand what
I do got it wrong, dang.
because we need the bottom.
You just wrote it how you wrote it in.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's all right. So when we look at seeking his strength continually, it says that something had to be destroyed for you to be separated to enter into the house, correct? So let's look at something. I want you to go to 2 Corinthians chapter 12 and about verse 9. So what we're dealing with is we know that Mashiach was destroyed to get you in the house. So when we talk about seeking his strength, what does the book say about when you're strong? It says that you have to be in a weak state. So when you're dealing with the Bakash is actually talking about being in a weak state because that destruction separates you to get you in this house. See, a lot of us don't like to be lowered into that weak state because remember he said seek his face. So when you seek in his face, you seeking to destroy. That the head has to be destroyed for you to get in the door. You know what I'm saying? So when you seeking his face, you knowing that YAHUAH had to be destroyed so you could enter in the door. But then to seek his strength, you know that he had to be destroyed to separate you to get in the house. See, his offering, his sacrifice gives you a chance to get in the door, but it doesn't give you the chance to get in his house if you don't seek his strength. And his strength is made perfect in weakness. Come on, 2 Corinthians chapter 12. If that make any sense. That makes sense for you? Mm-hmm. 12 and 8.
For this thing I besought the master thrice, that it might depart from me. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness.
And how was it made perfect, sir?
Most gladly, therefore, will I rather esteem in my infirmity, that the power of the Mashiach may rest upon me.
So when you seeking his strength continually, that means that you would dwell in some manner of weakness. What manner of weakness can we think of some people in the word actually suffer from? Anybody can think of some of the weaknesses. Paul lists some infirmities. Do we need to go read those infirmities? No, I'm just saying to get a baseline of what we're discussing. Let's get it. I think it's 2 Corinthians chapter 4. Make sure that's what I want. No, it ain't 2 Corinthians 4. It might be 1 Corinthians 4 that I desire. Let me make sure. No. Let me see. Might be chapter 6. Yeah, chapter 6. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 3.
It says, knowest ye not?
No, 2 Corinthians 6 and 3.
Giving no offense in anything, that the man should be not blamed, but in all things approving ourselves as the ministers of Elohim, and much patience.
And much what?
Much patience.
And what else?
And affliction.
And of what?
And
can anybody think of anybody in this book who was afflicted? Joseph was afflicted. Anybody think of anybody else in this book who was suffered any manner of affliction? David suffered an affliction. So when we look at what they suffered, what did they suffer? Those two men that they mentioned, because that's two witnesses, and now we good. What was the affliction of Joseph?
Persecuted for righteousness.
He was persecuted for, but why was he really persecuted according to the law? In Genesis 37, why was he persecuted? Because of covenants, because YAHUAH loved him more than he loved all his other sons and gave him a nice little coat. You know what I'm saying? But also, why did they hate him? Why was he afflicted? Because of the dreams that he had and the prophecy and the word that he spit. They envied him for. Why was David afflicted?
They covered it. Saul did.
Saul afflicted David for what cause? Because the people showed David love because of his action. You know what I'm saying? See, Saul's actions actually weren't righteous. See, Saul did things and he was dead wrong and blamed the people for what he did. Remember what it said? He said, oh man, they're going to say David killed 10 and all that. He's going to take the throne. So he afflicted David for being a righteous man. This is what Paul is talking about. Like, we don't even want to deal with no people like dealing with a Mashiach. We just want to sit back and show you the baseline of examples, because we know the master was afflicted. But we're talking about examples of men who suffered this. Now what ended up happening with Joseph? He ended up being elevated to the right hand of Pharaoh. So his strength, the strength of Yahuwah, was made perfect in his weakness. What ended up happening to David? David ended up being clearly the greatest king in the history of YAHUAH, even though he was in a weak state running from Saul. You know what I'm saying? So that, and what is the key thing with Joseph and David that we see with both of them? They sought Yah's face continually in the midst of that affliction. And that's what separated them to be able to get in, to enter into the house. Let's go to the next thing.
In necessities.
Who can we think of that was in a particular fashion where they needed something? Jacob. And what did Jacob need? He needed who? No, that was Esau. That was Esau. He was in necessities. Who can you think was in a position where they needed something? We just read about it. Elijah was in a position where he needed something. Because he said he had to give. Remember, he sent him to dwell with the Zidonian woman in the time of the famine, and she supplied him with cakes and water. You know, Elisha was a man who was in need of necessity, because the Shemanite woman seen that he needed somewhere to rest, because she constantly seen him coming back and forth. And that's 2 Kings chapter 4 and 1 Kings 19 that we're referring to. Well, actually 1 Kings 17. You know what I'm saying? Seeing them coming back and forth. So you see that in that position of weakness, what ended up happening with Elijah? Yah lifted him up and took him up to Shamahim, and Elisha took his place and was regarded as one of the greatest prophets in the history of Yasharal. What's the next thing?
In distress.
In distress. Who can we think of was in distress outside of Joseph and David? Because definitely they were in distress.
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah was in distress. How was he in distress? They locked him up. What did they lock him up for? They locked him up for prophesying the word that Yah had spoken. But in the midst of his affliction, who did he see? He saw Yahuwah. Daniel was in distress. Because they threw him in the lion's den. Why did they throw him in the lion's den? Because he was praying evening, noon, and morning as he ought, seeking Yah's face. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, or Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. What were they in? They were in distress because they were chosen to. Are you going to worship this idol? And they said no. Why? They sought the face of Yah and His strength continually in the midst of that. This First Chronicles 16 that we're reading, that's the first Psalm of David. So this is what he was writing after coming up out of an affliction. Go ahead. So what's the next one? Strife. Now stripes. Who can y'all think of who was beaten? Now definitely Yahushua definitely was beaten, and Paul was beaten. You could like say it's cool because it ain't that many examples of people in the law and in the prophets that got whooped. Yeah, Samson got beat, but not necessarily with a whip though. Because when he talking about that stripe, you should know the law. How many stripes can you give a Hebrew before he vile in your sight? 40. Like if you was to beat your churn, by the law, you can get that nigga 40 stripe crosses behind. Anything past 40, he vile in your eyesight.
That mean you just beat.
Yeah, you just beat. That mean I hate this nigga. Like literally 40, because you got to remember something. In ancient times, they would take you out there and lash you.
Lashes. Public lashes.
And what?
Yes. In one sitting.
Deuteronomy 25 for him. Read it to him out of law. Deuteronomy 25. See, that's why when we get done with this here, that's why y'all willing, we going to go through that law, and it's going to be a lot of things you ain't going to realize that you ain't know it was in the law. Just like I had went over with y'all before. You know, it's lawful for a woman to fight with her husband. It ain't lawful for her to grab that man by his genitalia while you fight. Because then it says you got to cut that woman hand off.
It say fighting for your husband.
Yeah, like if you get in a little altercation and your wife come through, pop, pop, pop.
Yeah, it say that.
She could get off. But don't grab them balls though, boy. Keep them things out your hands. You nasty. You were trying to see what he was working with. You know what I'm talking about? You ain't had no business doing that. How many of y'all knew that was in there though? Yeah, that's in there. What was 1 and 25, man? 25 and 3. Actually 25 and 1.
It says, if there be a controversy between men, and they come into judgment, that the judges may judge them, then shall they justify the righteous and condemn the wicked.
Yes, sir.
And if it shall be, if the wicked man shall be worthy to be beaten, that the judge shall cause him to lie down and to be beaten before his face according to his fault by a certain number. 40 stripes he may give him, and not exceed, lest if he should exceed and beat him above these many stripes, then shall thy brother should be seen vile unto him.
So you can't go past 40. Can't go past 40. Can't go past 40. He dead wrong, it say beat him. But once you get to 40, you take that belt off that boy. You know what I'm saying? And I don't talking about if two people done did wrong. So that also apply. You can beat your churn. I don't think nobody would have enough energy to drop 40 lashes on nobody. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it'll get that far. They got to do something real serious. You drop 40 on them.
Yeah, Shayla been doing them.
Say they do them quick strikes.
Yeah, I strike for.
You strike for impact.
Yeah. 3 strong ones to put you out the game.
Shayla say them all them. He said the mosquito bites do some damage like that.
Yeah. Everybody got their own style.
You see what I'm saying? Get the job done. Yeah, that's what it say now. 40. There's a lot of stuff in this law that a lot of people don't know that's in this law. But yeah, man, 40. 40. It also tell you that hey, it's a problem if you cause a woman to lose her child. It's a law for that. Come on back to where we was at. Cause I seen a brother today. They posted the law about, y'all should remember this here, about if you get married, you supposed to take a year off, cheer up your wife. Dude talking about that's what we supposed to be doing, but we in captivity. Number one, that don't even pertain to you. You know what I'm saying, in the actual sense. And number two, you're gonna be violating other laws. Like one, you live in the fact that you live in an agricultural society. You know what I'm talking about? You don't live in that. So if you take a year off, you and your wife gonna be living in a van down by the river. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up and down. You take a year off. Shoot, unless you got some racks on top of racks and M's on top of M's, you're gonna have to get up and go to work, buddy.
Especially if y'all got children.
What? Can't take no year off on that one. But you know that's a,
That fulfills 1,000 years.
cause that's all he gonna be doing is cheering up his wife.
Because he came from that.
Cause he said no war or nothing. You know, I told the chick, I ain't even give her the verse. I told her go search it. Go search it. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you'll find it. You look hard enough. But you know why a lot of people can't find these things and see these things in the text? Because they not seeking them. Because they have not destroyed themselves to separate themselves to get in the door or get in the house. You know what I'm saying? That's why some niggas, they might can see certain things, but then it'll stop. The reason why it stopped, because you ain't really did it. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, man.
We on imprisonment.
We in prison. Man, there's several people. How many people been in prison? We know Joseph was in prison. Daniel was in prison. Micaiah was imprisoned. Jeremiah was imprisoned. So a lot of people ended up hitting that cell. And Peter got locked up. Surely did. Paul got locked up. All of them saw Yah's face in the midst of that affliction. Do you know what I'm saying? And this is what separated. See, it's real easy to say how much you love Yah when everything is sweet. It's when things get ugly, or how determined will you be to continually seek his face then. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the same token that it's real easy to love somebody when everything is going good and everything great. When stuff get ugly, that's when people want to bail out. I want to move on. I want to be with somebody else. Because you're looking for that happiness, which is just a fleeting emotion. It wasn't really built in anything. Because the minute you don't have that feeling anymore, now you want to move on. That's like a junkie. You chasing a high. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people do with Yah. You chasing a high. And the minute that high gone, why he got me. There was a period of time where some of our people really thought you wasn't supposed to go through nothing negative. Do you know what I'm saying? That if you go, people feel like if you're going through something negative in the word, that God is not with you. And like, who taught them that? Niggas with theology degrees and niggas off the street. I'm for real though. See, you weren't in the room when that man was in here talking. Glover homeboy. No, they weren't here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That man said he had a theology degree. And he was dumb as a box of rocks when it came to what was written in this text. That man said he got to take off the garment because of the anointing. And every time we asked him, where was that written at? See, I need my Bible. I need my Bible. I need my Bible. See, I don't know it off the top of that. So it doesn't matter. They taught you all this stuff and you don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna talk some good for.
And he said he's an apostle. And I spared him on that. Because I knew he wasn't going to be able to prove it. And I ain't even talking about to prove that he was one. I'm talking about prove it out the book. You know what I'm saying? But he's an exact, because you couldn't tell him he ain't on no book. You couldn't tell him that.
He spoke to me this morning. He told me.
You couldn't tell him that. And guess what? We didn't ask him did he have a theology degree. He volunteered it. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm looking at your place of education thoroughly failed you. But you know why he was failed? Because he relied on man and not Elohim. That's why he was failed. Nevertheless, go ahead.
We are on tumult.
Y'all know what a tumult is, right? It's a little distress, a little trouble, a little uproar, a little scuff. Come on.
Labors.
Do a little work.
And watching. And in fasting.
Go ahead.
By pureness, by knowledge, by long suffering, by kindness, by the Ruach HaKodesh, by love unframed, by the word of truth, by the power of Elohim, by the armor of righteousness, by the right hand and on the left. And
in doing all that there as he done went through those, now he talking about actually seeking Elohim in the midst of all that affliction. See, like I say, right, it's easy to do things when things are smooth. You know what I'm saying? You see a lot of people bail out on situations with people, regardless if it's family or relationship, whatever the case may be, friends, all of that. And then when they bail out, Then they turn back and look at it, they want to try to make it better than this, that, there, and the third, because you really didn't have the strength to go through that with them. Because it wasn't easy anymore. So now I want to move on to the next thing where it's easier. And that's how people end up going from person to person, and how a lot of people end up having children from multiple different people, whether it be male or female. Because people like to focus on the women, but it's a lot of dudes out here got kids from multiple different women. You know what I'm saying? I know dudes got 4-5 kids from 4-5 different women. That's despicable. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the times it's coming from that, because a lot of times a lot of issues that people have with one another really aren't that big. Do you know what I'm saying? We make them bigger than what they are because we don't want to actually do the work to get through them. And that's how we look at when you dealing with the stress when you serving y'all. The issue don't really be that big. We just don't be wanting to do the work to get through the issue. So what's it easier to do? Walk away. You know what I'm saying? That's what's easier to do. And it really shows in the end that you didn't really love y'all or love that person like you say you did. Because before y'all turned his face on YAHUAH, he fought for a good long time before he did that. You know what I'm saying? And even when he did that, he still came up with a way to reconcile himself back because that's how much he loved him.
On the phone, you're talking about Hosea 5:15. You said, how long you say?
He said, I'll turn my face. He said, man, I'm going back to my place. And in the time of your affliction, you will seek me early.
How long would you say y'all turn? Like, he hit his face from us to the day? Since his son?
No, I mean, as a people,
Yeah, as a people, would you say?
you could probably say we probably about year 5, maybe 600, 700.
600 years?
It's been a little minute. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even longer than that, because he hadn't turned his face from it in the time of Mashiach. You could say technically he turned his face in 70 AD.
That's what I was gonna say.
But then there was still certain Israelite communities even after that though. He just put us out the land. But truth be told, you could say he turned his face all the way up to the Babylonian captivity because you ain't been under your own authority since that time. But yet he still had his eyes are continually on his people, but he allowed these people to get off without him defending
When
us.
you say he turned his face on us, I'm looking at it like he not hearing me.
That's a point of it too. As a whole, he's not hearing us. Individuals, he's hearing.
Yeah, okay.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really talking about as a whole.
As a whole, nah, he ain't hearing us
I
right
ain't
now.
heard everybody.
That's how it was.
That was just like that video you put out there, and what Killer Mike said in that video is what I done said to dudes in the past. Cause niggas like when that stuff went down in St. Louis with Mike Brown and all these niggas talking about rioting and killing and all this here, I say, nigga, you don't make no bullets, and you don't make no guns. So how you gonna fight these? Nigga, they got fighter jets, nigga. Like who you gonna fight? You know what I'm saying? That's why I tell some of y'all like, hey man, it ain't nothing wrong with you to go learn how to shoot, cause them crackers learn how to shoot every day. You know what I'm talking about? But at the same token, of course, don't none of us know how to hunt. You live in the city. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, let's just be real about it. When I was up the road, dude said something. I say, no, nigga, I don't know how to hunt. How you don't know how to hunt? Because I'm from Jacksonville, nigga. I live in the city. Yeah, but I'm talking about,
crackers that live in the city, they go out there.
but also that's going into secluded wooded areas because more than likely their ancestors came from these locations. But a nigga in New York City ain't thinking about going to hunt nothing.
Yeah.
He live in a concrete jungle.
Them real serious.
But I'm saying, but even still, there might be country areas out here, but you live in an urban metropolitan area. You know what I'm saying? Ain't too many places you can ride on the south side talking about you finna go hunt. Ain't too many places on out. You ain't gonna hunt out east nowhere but a nigga.
I take beaver down.
You know what I'm saying?
Down.
You know what I'm saying? If you go to the north side, you got to go out. On the west side, you got to go out. I just talked to a white dude the other day, say out there somewhere in Oakleaf. He said, yeah, we used to go mudding over here. He said, we can't even do that no more because they built this and built that and built this. You know what I'm saying? So I have to be practical in that at the same token. You can't go hunt depending on where you from. A nigga from the backwoods of Georgia, he ought to know how to hunt. Nigga from the bayous in Louisiana ought to know how to hunt. Because that's what you living around. A nigga in New Orleans don't know how to hunt nothing but a nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you, a nigga from LA don't know how to hunt nothing but a nigga. That's all they do, all day, every day. Niggas in Chicago definitely don't do nothing but hunt niggas. Hunt niggas. Talking about hunt a deer? Shoot. Hunt that nigga with that rag in his back pocket. That's the reality of the construct. That's the stuff we talk about. Like, that stuff sounds good in theory till you actually go in these niggas' neighborhoods and see that's not reality for them. You know what I'm talking about? You go to talking about, I seen niggas in Chicago in abandoned apartments with a gun on a sidewalk. And if a nigga crossed that sidewalk who was not a part of their gang, he was shot. You think that nigga gonna hear something talking about let's start a garden? You know what I'm talking about? Like for real. You think that nigga that nigga need God. Straight up and down, cause this nigga got a gun line. When I seen this nigga's literally a high-powered rifle on anybody who crossed this sidewalk. That's their everyday life. That's what they live with every day. You know what I'm saying? So you have to actually get to the inner workings of the person to even before you can even talk about anything else. Because I need to know why you feel like that's a proper way to live. Do you know what I'm saying? Because at the same token, now we know this here. It's good for us to grow food because your oppressor doing it. It's good for you to know how to shoot guns, women and all. Because I guarantee you, boy, them white men, they take their wife out there, they teach her how to shoot. You know what I'm talking about? They teach. I just seen a video of a 5-year-old little white child like this here with a pistol. Pops got him out there. Some black people do that too now, but they teaching them to kill niggas though.
Protect themselves.
You clean it up how you want it. Kill a nigga. You know what I'm talking about? 2 Chronicles chapter 11. Get you a nigga and kill him. I see they got a new word for it. Now they say the ops. I didn't know what them niggas was saying for a long time. The opposition, huh? They shorted it a little bit. It's some young niggas I know right now. I know them personally. This young nigga always talking about killing somebody. I'm like, come on, bro, you too old for that. Nigga, you 25 years old, it's over with, man. He ain't even in the streets no more. And nigga say, if anybody's talk down on Justine, I'ma kill him. I said, come on, bro. You wild. He dead serious though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's dead serious though. Cause these young niggas, shoot, a couple of them young niggas up the road right now for a body. One doing 12. Got one of my little homeboy Freddie doing like 15, 20 for shooting at the police. He wasn't trying to shoot at the police. They was vice, and they circled the block one time too many. He didn't know they were the police, and he let loose at them. You know what I'm saying? He thought it was them jump out boy. He thought it was them jack boy. He like this here, bam, 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 bam. Found out it was the police. And get what happened? His homeboy told on him. Took him straight to the front door.
I was hair around this shit.
That's what they do. That was a little hearing. I can't go to jail. I can't lose my virginity. That's how they be feeling. Go ahead. 2 Chronicles 11:1.
It says that when Rehoboam was come to Jerusalem, he gathered of the house of Yehuda and Benjamin.
My bad. I need this verse 14.
I paused because
13. Verse 13.
It says, and the priests and the Levites that were in all Yahshua resorted to him out of all their coasts.
Yep.
For the Levites left their suburbs and left their possession.
Left they what?
Their suburb and possession.
They left they what?
Their suburbs and possessions.
What does that sound like to y'all? They left they, hey Henry, they left their suburbs and possessions. What that sound like to y'all? Come here, Henry.
Amen.
What does that sound like out of something that you done heard come out the master's mouth? Keep on reading and we'll see how it come out. Keep on going.
It said, and came to Yehuda and Jerusalem, for Jeroboam and his sons had cast them off from executing.
So Jeroboam had actually got rid of the priests from doing their job, and you know what he hired? Vile men and base men. And truth be told, that's kind of like along the lines of what we were just discussing. Now in the construct of America, you got theologians and all these educated men who've been put in the priest office instead of men that y'all won't put in the priest office. Or even dealing with the construct of our community, of those of us who believe that we the people of the book, or that know that we the people of the book. A nigga will put a base vile man in place to teach the word over a righteous man. This is not new behavior, because you see Jeroboam doing it right here. And why did Jeroboam get rid of the Levite priests and put his own people in there? Because them Levite priests gonna say what this book say. These vile niggas gonna say whatever Jeroboam want them to say. Keep on going, sir.
It says, and he ordained him priest for the high places.
And for the who?
The high places, and for the devils, and for the calves.
So, see, look at that, right? Jeroboam has made himself priest to worship false gods and devils. Go ahead.
It said, for calves which he made, and after them out of all the tribes of Yahshua, such as set their hearts to seek Yahuwah Elohim of Yahshua, came to Jerusalem to sacrifice unto Yahuwah Elohim.
I also want y'all to know that word for devils in that particular verse is going to say goat. A sacrificial goat. Not like literal devils, meaning a goat that was sacrificed for the worship of the devil. What did it say again? Out of all the tribes or what?
Out of all the
In verse 16.
it said, out of all the tribes of Yasharal, such as set their hearts to seek Yahuwah Elohim came to Jerusalem
Now,
to
the
sacrifice.
word for seek, which one of the words you think it would be for seek in this verse? Just taking a guess. Just taking a guess. You say the door. What you got, Darius? What you think? The top one. What you think, D? Which one you think it'll be? It's the top one. It's the Bakash on that particular one. So when he's saying all those people, what are they seeking? They seeking to actually. And if you look at the
because they going to Jerusalem.
yeah, when you look at the context of what's written, you can see that they're separating themselves.
They going to the house.
They separating themselves. You know what I'm saying? So they're destroying the construct of worshiping idols and serving outside the will of Yahuwah to separate themselves to get in the house. And this is what we have to do with people around. Because guess what? As the days go by, it's going to be more and more brews finding out they bruise. And it's going to be more and more people wanting to preach the word. And it's going to be more and more niggas setting up wicked niggas to do it. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to have some people that's going to set themselves up out of there. But in my line though, like, okay, you got that congregation of niggas wife swapping and all the type of stuff. Got who? This nigga here. Oh no, he probably working on that right now.
That what he said? God got me on another mission.
Yeah, mission for basils. Come on.
They don't do that. God got him a mission to start a congregation.
He may do it, and his wife gonna be a basil. See, I mentioned that last night, boy. When you look at somebody preaching, boy, if you realize that his wife got to meet a qualification.
What God?
Because I only mentioned that because we had this conversation yesterday. Go ahead, man. I'll show y'all what I'm talking about. Go ahead, man.
It says, so they strengthened the kingdom of Yehuda and made Rehoboam the son of Solomon strong. 3 years. For 3 years they walked in the way of David and Solomon.
Go to 2 Corinthians 7:1. So you're seeing that these people are willing to sacrifice themselves, so you can be separated. The master said that sanctify them with thy truth, thy word is truth, and I sanctify myself by the truth that they also might be sanctified by the truth. This man set himself apart by his body. Give me Hebrew 10 after this here too.
2 Corinthians.
And 7:1.
It says, having therefore these promises, dearly beloved, let us cleanse ourselves from all filthiness and filthiness of the flesh, and ruach, perfecting Kadash in the fear of Elohim.
This is what these people were doing because they wanted to separate themselves from the filthiness that these people had going on. You know what I'm saying? Because these niggas was wilding, they was evil, and they was wicked, and this man was literally setting up false priests to teach the people and to make sacrifices to false gods. Let's get Hebrews 10:8. Then I'll show y'all what I'm talking about, because I know I mentioned it last night. And then I'll grab the 1 Timothy chapter 3 myself. Hebrew 10:8.
It says above, when he said sacrifice and offering and burnt offerings and offering for sin thou wouldest not, neither had pleasure therein, which are offered by the law. Then said he, lo, I come to do thy will, O Elohim. He taketh away the first, that he may establish the second.
Yep.
By the which will we are sanctified through the offering of the body of Yahushua.
So you sanctified by this man's body, which takes you back to that bakash or seeking him, that you have to destroy something. What has to be destroyed? The body of sin has to be destroyed. This is what actually set you apart. This is what actually sanctified Mashiach. Then you able to get into the house. And this is what, because what did it say they were going to Jerusalem to do? Make a sacrifice, did it not? So if you want to be able to enter into Jerusalem and enter into the house, you have to make a sacrifice. Now let me read you this thing in 1 Timothy chapter 3 real quick. Like I say, a dude asked what was the difference between a pastor and a minister. So that's the only reason why it was in my brain, because I had explained it to him. But in 1 Timothy 3:8, it says, and it applies to both a pastor and a minister. Well, I'm in verse 11. It says that their wives have to be grave and not slanderers, sober and faithful in everything. So then you look at this here, right? The Greek word for grave means that this woman has to be of a venerated character or honorable. Do you know how many people who probably preaching the word that they not even qualified to hold that job because their wife is not honorable? You know what I'm saying? Because the book said she has to be an honorable woman. What does that take us back to? What does this wife really have to be? She has to be a virtuous woman. Because the book said a virtuous woman is an honorable woman. You know what I'm saying? Then it says that this woman has to be sober. So if she's sober, and I skipped over slanderers, but we know what that is. If she's sober, that means she's got to have self-control. So if your wife can't even control herself, then you can't even take this job. Now you know what it means to be a slanderer. That means you like to lie on people. You know what I'm saying? Or falsely accuse people. You know what I'm saying? Which will go back to that if she's falsely accusing people, that means that she has judged according to appearance and not righteous judgment. So therefore, and this is going to preclude him. And this goes back to the law in Leviticus 20 or 21. I want to say 21. Where it say the high priest and the priest have to marry a set apart woman. Can't marry no profane woman. And she got to be a pure woman. You know what I'm talking about? And said unless she done had a priest before. So you said a lot of dudes be want to say, oh, I want to preach. And then your wife don't even fit it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like your wife is like, I know a lot of dudes, your wife is not respectable. In the least bit. Definitely not grave. Nevertheless, come on back to we need 2 Chronicles 15. Because when I just mentioned that, because when I showed the brother that day, he was tripping. Because he didn't know that was there. Another lady, she knew it was there. You know what I'm saying? She was like, yeah, I know that's in there. But you'll be amazed at the stuff that people don't know is actually in the text. Certain things that you actually got to meet. You know what I'm saying? Because basically it's saying that if a man preaching the word and he wanted the office of a minister or a pastor, that he would need to be with a righteous woman. That he couldn't be with no sinner. And if you look in the law for the priest, does it not say that? And I just mentioned that to mention that how all this stuff go back to what's already written. You know what I'm saying? A lot of this stuff be already written. And you just reading this epistle letter and you thinking it's this, that, there, and the third when this stuff is in the law. 2 Chronicles 15 and 8. Oh, that's Henry with that loud crap. I gotta make sure I skip my chapter. No, make it 9. 2 Chronicles 15 and 9.
It says, and he gathered all Yehuda and Benjamin and all the strangers with him out of Ephraim.
He gathered who?
All the strangers that were with him out of Ephraim and Manasseh and out of Simeon, for they fell to him out of Yasharal in abundance.
They did what?
And when they saw that Yahuwah Elohim was with him, so they gathered themselves together at Jerusalem in the 3rd month in the 15th year of the reign of Asa. And they offered unto Yahuwah at the same time the spoil which they had brought, 700 oxen and 7,000 sheep. And they
so if they bringing these oxen and these sheep, what they bringing?
Sacrifice.
They bringing a sacrifice. Go ahead.
And they entered into a covenant to seek Yahuwah Elohim with their fathers with all their heart and with all their soul.
Now pause. What word do you think is being used in this particular passage? That he said that they entered into a covenant to seek Yah with all their heart and with all their soul. So which one of these two words you think being used there, Stanley? I mean, you ain't got but a 50-50. I mean, shoot, just a flip of the coin.
What was the statement? I already did it.
You think it's the Rosh? What you think it might be, Monte?
What you said? You said whoever seek Yahuwah's face.
It said in this particular verse, they entered into a covenant to seek Yahuwah they Elohim with all their heart and with all their soul.
I think that one's the dope.
Which one you think it is?
I think it's the dope on that one. Because they don't say it do say they went to Jerusalem.
This one is, it is the Darash on this particular
The
verse.
reason I said that because they entered into a covenant.
They entered into a covenant.
Into the door before you
They
get to the house.
until you get to the house.
Yeah.
So when you see this one here, now you know this is the sacrifice of the head to get in the house. Do you know what I'm saying? So you know, in order for you to get in the house, Yahushua had to sacrifice himself. So how else can you enter into a covenant? Because we just read it in Hebrew chapter 10. If you were following, it said the covenant was made once he sanctified his body. Let's read Matthew 26 and 28. But now we're going to read what's going to happen, and we're going to see the construct of what happens if you choose not to seek his face. And the next verse and the verse after that. Because again, when we talk about seeking this man's face is not watching a video. Seeking this man's face is not showing up on Shabbat. Seeking this man's face is not popping open his book. Seeking this man's face is literally walking in the sacrifice of Yahushua HaMashiach to separate yourself to get in the house or get in the door so you get in the house. That's really what it's about. And if you're not doing that, you're not seeking his face. Period. I don't care what a nigga talking about. You know what I'm saying? Nigga can talk to their mouth catch fire, their butt catch fire. They can try to spin it and skin it however they want to do it. If a nigga ain't sacrificed himself, you a liar and the truth ain't in you. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how much knowledge you got. I don't care how long you've been doing it. It's even more shameful if you've been doing it for a long time and you ain't sacrificed yourself. What have you been doing? You know what I'm saying? If a nigga tell you I've been struggling with this sin for 15 years, just give it up, cuz. Just give it up. Because if you ain't got it right in 15 years, you're going to never get it right. Then go ahead and give it up, my nigga. Clearly, that ain't what you want to do. That was very adult of you. I just have the best one.
Got caught off guard. We all make mistakes.
You put it on Front Street. You would have slid by.
She ain't slid by. Y'all heard it. Y'all just ain't want to say nothing. She about to be belching on my neck. Everybody belts sometimes. You know, dudes just look at. That's what we were talking about the other day. We were telling Dov, like, you know, a man being musky, it's not acceptable, but you give it a pass. If a woman musky, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You ain't got no business being musky under no circumstance. That's how men feel. They ain't saying it is right. We just saying that's how they feel.
It is a double standard on some stuff.
Yeah, we ain't saying. I didn't say it was. I didn't say it was right.
Bourbon and
Yeah, I didn't say it. Listen to me.
I mean, one time pass. It's a one time pass. If you must be every day.
I mean, no, you know, you get your pass, but if you must be more than 2 times off guard, you
Thank you. That's it. Yeah.
you officially must.
Listen,
You might come clean the rest of the time, but you always gonna get musty.
see, Dom, you gotta understand something, Dom. Listen, what I'm telling you, because we were talking about this too. It's not saying it's right. See, you took it. We were saying it's right. We just telling you this how men think.
Yeah.
If a man musky, a woman to sit back and be like, that nigga musky, but she not be like, ugh. If a woman musky, I know some women, if a woman musky though, a nigga don't care what she been doing. Man, this old stinking hole here, man, ugh. You just disgusting. And the first thing clicking on his mind is, I know her vagina stink. That's the first thing clicking in mind. He don't even know what she been doing. He don't know, you know what I'm saying, or nothing. Cause that's how a nigga think. If she ain't washed up under here, I know she ain't washed down there. It's the same way if a man walk in a woman's house and her house dirty, first thing he think, oh, she don't clean her body. That monkey stink. I don't want none of this here. I'm going home. I'm finding an excuse. So you like this here, you gonna pretend like somebody called you to leave. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how men think. The reason why men think like this here, because we've been taught and trained in our mind that a woman's supposed to be clean all the time. You know what I'm saying? So if she ain't clean all the time, nigga is disgusted. You know what I'm saying? Now, it ain't saying that it's right, because women don't like no dirty man neither. But you've been taught that it's okay for a man to have an odor in certain situations in the case. Oh, he just got finished working. Oh, he was lifting weights. He was playing the sport. You know what I'm talking about? So you like this here? It's okay if he musky. A nigga don't care if a woman been playing ball for 3 hours. She bet not be musky when she get off that court.
Yeah, I know it. But I'm telling you, back in the day, if you got caught off, bro, you musky forever.
Because I told you, I was in the gym and there was a woman in there so musky, it was ridiculous. I don't care what you was in there doing. You ain't supposed to smell like that. I ain't talking about, oh, she a little tart. No, it was strong, like, whew, you got taken aback. You know what I mean? But I'm just being honest with you. I ain't saying it's right. But that's reality, though. You know what I'm saying? A man feel like a woman ain't never supposed to fart around him. You know what I'm saying? She ain't never supposed to burp around him. That's how dude feeling. You fart around and be like, oh my God. That's how a lot of dudes feel like. I can't believe you just did that. You're a woman. Like this woman don't get gas. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But that's how dudes think. A man supposed to feel like if a woman farts, she supposed to get up and take herself out of the room and fart in the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? That's how a man feel. He don't care if he been married to her for 10 years. You bet not fart in this room, woman.
What about a married couple that is like the bathroom?
I ain't saying it's right. I ain't saying it's right, but but a lot of dudes feel like he can break wind right here on the spot, and you supposed to get up and leave the room. Now I feel like if you've been married for a particular period of time, you done probably sat in the bathroom while she on the toilet, so her breaking wind shouldn't even be no issue. You know what I'm saying? But everybody different. I'm just saying, everybody different.
Never mind. That's off topic.
I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. I ain't saying this right. I ain't saying this.
Y'all
I mean, if you live with somebody for a period of time, you gonna get tired of them. I'm not finna wait on this nigga in the bathroom. You better spray that Lysol. I'm finna come in here and brush my teeth. I gotta go. You know what I'm saying?
That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's if you done live with him for a particular. After a while, you done got over this. Yeah, your doo-doo stink, nigga. I done got over it.
I mean, everybody do. Ain't nothing new.
You know what I'm saying?
Keep it moving.
Yeah, keep it moving. I ain't no bothering you. I done came to get in the shower. Please spray that one more time, please.
Well, you answer first.
Nigga, you stink. What you been eating? You know what I'm saying? But before you get to that point, a lot of dudes feel like you should never do that around. You got dudes so asinine to think a woman don't even take a dump.
Nah.
And they mind though. They know that they do, but in their mind she don't. She ain't supposed to do that. She's a woman. You know what I'm saying? That's how niggas think. That's how dumb niggas is.
It's not a pleasant thought.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Nigga don't want to put it in their mind. My old lady take a dump. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she take a dump, nigga.
But you don't think about it because they sit down every time.
Every time.
It's just you don't want.
But a woman belching, you know what a man think about when a woman belching? This old beer swiggling hoe. That's what a nigga think.
She want a Heineken.
She want a Heineken. She want a Corona. She want some Dos Equis. That's what a nigga think about. Go ahead, man.
Hey, go see.
Let's read that next verse 13 though.
Where Matthew 26.
Oh man, Matthew 26, 28. My bad.
You phoning?
Ready to hear it? Henry.
She asked for a cookie? No, go sit in your seat. Cause she thinks she's slick. She asked theirs, and then she know y'all got a cookie, so she wouldn't ask her. But she don't got them, but she know she'll get them.
Come on, Matthew 26 and 28.
I said it again. I said no. He said yeah. That's it.
Hey, you want even
She just slid down the corner.
We at 28. For this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. But I say unto you,
For the new what?
for the New Testament, a new covenant, which is shed for many for the remission of sins.
And when they entered into that covenant in 2 Chronicles 15, what did they do first? They made a sacrifice. So if you're going to enter in a covenant with Yahuwah, guess what you got to do? You got to make a sacrifice. And that's all contingent on if you seeking his face. Because the only, guess what? Let's look at something, right? Get me John chapter 17.
These words spake Yahushua, and he lifted up his eyes to Shamahim and said, Father, the hour is come to esteem thy son, that thy son also may esteem thee. As thou hast given him power over all flesh, that he should give eternal life to as many as thou hast given him. And this is life eternal, that they might know thee, the only true Elohim, Yahushua HaMashiach, which thou hast sent.
Pause. Now let's get Hebrews 1 and 1. Well, you better fix your face. It's going to stay looking like that. You don't want that.
Cut it out.
Hebrews 1 and 1.
Elohim, who at sundry times in diverse manners spake in times past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the world. Who being in the brightness of his esteem and the express image of his person, and upholding all things by the word of his power, when he had by himself purged our sins, sat down on the right hand of majesty.
How was the master able to sit down by the right hand of the Father? Would that mean he saw his face? And that mean he saw his face by what reason? Because he saw the strength continually in a moment of weakness and destroyed himself to be sanctified, to be able to enter into that tabernacle of Shamahim. That is what you seeking his face for, so that you can eventually actually see the Father's face. That's why I asked y'all that last week, like, How many of you have actually thought of not what his face looks like, but actually seeing him? Because if your goal and objective is to actually see him, then that should change and dictate the course of your thoughts, your actions, your ways, and your doings. A lot of niggas don't want to see him. You know what I'm saying? Like Paul told you that. He said, you know, we seek to. He said, you know, with the master, he said, you know, well, not Paul, but John. He said, you know, we the sons of God. You know, what manner of love has the Father bestowed upon us that we should be called the sons of God. And though when we see him, we shall know him as he is. Paul said we look to have our vile body transformed like unto his esteemed body. It's a lot of niggas. They not really trying to see this man. That's why I told y'all numerous times over the course of the year. Some of you done heard it more than others. All niggas want to do is just pretend. You know what I'm saying? That's all niggas want to do is just pretend. That's why I told you last night. It's a lot of niggas in this thing, period, that I done came across who I do not respect. Because you not on this in real life. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about somebody who did something. You know what I'm saying? Or you got caught up in your flesh for a little run. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. I'm talking about niggas who flogging. This ain't really what you about. You know what I'm talking about? I don't respect that. Niggas who volunteer lies for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Niggas who just want to, just like the master said in Matthew 23, want to perpetrate righteousness outwardly and inside you wicked. I don't respect that. You know what I'm saying? That's why he say what they want to do. Put on the long robes and the greetings in the market. Rabbi, you want to be seen of men. That's what a lot of niggas want. A lot of niggas want that honor and validation and respect from men. They don't want it that come from y'all, period. Well, I got you hold.
We have just did Hebrews 1:1.
Come on back to 2 Chronicles 15. We need verse 14. No, we need verse 13.
2 Chronicles 15, verse 13.
Listen what it said though.
That whatsoever would not seek Yahuwah Elohim Yasharah shall be put to death, whether small or great, whether man or woman.
Now listen to what he said. Now the word for that verse in this verse is Darash. So he said, whoever wouldn't seek Yahuwah ought to be killed. So if we know this is the destruction of the head to get in the door, what is this telling us about? Or get in the house, what is this telling us about? If he say anybody who don't seek Yahuwah ought to be put to death, what is this actually telling us? If we know that this is relating to a Mashiach, if it's dealing with the head that's destroyed to get into the house. Because before that it said these people made a sacrifice and all of them entered into a covenant. No. So what are we going to take from this? Let's look and see. Hebrews 10 and 25. And after that, 1 John chapter 5 verse 7. What is this basically telling us? Anybody who rejects Yahushua HaMashiach is going to be killed. That's what that's telling us. And you know what that means? It's a lot of niggas going to hell. Because rejecting this man ain't just saying you. Because guess what, right? What did we read in Matthew chapter 7 and verse 20? What did we read in that verse and what did it say? Then we read how it said, we prophesied in your name. Remember when we dealt with that? You remember when we dealt with that? Y'all remember when we dealt with that? About what he meant on that? You think just because you preach the word that's going to spare you? You think just because you went out and did some good works that's going to spare you? That man said, you get away from me, you work of iniquity. I don't care nothing about you preaching in my name, nigga. I don't care nothing because you fed some homeless people, nigga. You's a worker of iniquity. And just and remember when we dealt with that, that was talking about people who preaching. You know what I'm saying? That's talking about people who think that's a heavy thing to sit back for this man to say, okay, I don't know you, cuz. Because you rejected me in actuality. Because what did you reject? You rejected that sacrifice. And I got a verse for that just came to my head on that. Praise the Lamb. Come on.
Hebrews 10 and 3.
No, I said 10 and 25.
Okay.
Where you got 3 from?
Not forsaking the assembly of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but extorting one another, and so much more as you see the day
That
approaching.
nigga said extorting. That's extorting.
Oh, extorting. Excuse me. For we sin willfully after that we have
Working with the mob.
we have received the knowledge of the truth. There remaineth no more sacrifice for sin, but a certain fearful look of judgment and fiery indignation which shall devour the adversary.
Yep.
He that despises Moses' law died without mercy unto 2 or 3 witnesses.
Yep.
Of how much sore punishment suppose ye shall he be thought worthy who have trodden underfoot the Son of Elohim and counted the blood of the covenant wherewith he was sanctified an unholy thing, and have done despite Yeah, despite unto the Ruach of grace.
That's what you seeing in 2 Chronicles 15, right? Let's look at something in John chapter 8, verse 12.
It says, Then spoke Yahushua again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. The Pharisees therefore said unto him, Thou bearest record of thyself. Thy record is not true. Yahushua answered and said unto them, Though I bear record of myself, yet my record is true. For I know whence I came and whither I go, but ye cannot tell whence I come and whither I go.
Go ahead.
Ye judge after the flesh.
Go ahead.
I judge no man.
Go ahead.
And yet if I judge, my judgment is true.
Why?
For I am not alone, but I and the Father that sent me.
What did he say after that?
It is also written in your law that the testimony of two men is true.
Yep.
I am one that bear witness of myself, and the Father has sent me bear witness of me.
Go ahead.
Then they said unto him, Where is thy Father? Yahushua answered, Ye neither knoweth me nor my Father. If ye had known me, ye should also have known my Father.
Go ahead.
These words spoke Yahushua in treasury, as he taught in the temple, and no man laid hands on him for his hour.
We were a little too high, but
not
they don't make no
yet
difference.
come.
They don't hurt nothing. Go ahead.
Then said Yahushua again unto them,
What he
I go
told?
my way, and ye shall seek me, and I shall die in your and shall die in your sins.
He said, you are what?
He said, You will seek me and shall die in your sins.
Why do you think he said that based on something we looked at last night? He said they'll seek him, but they'll do what?
Die in their sins.
Why do you think he said that?
They have not sacrificed.
We read that too, but we read something along them lines last night, pretty much word for word. He said you'll seek him, but you'll die in your sins. Ain't that what he said? He said, I will go my way, and you shall seek me, and shall die in your sins, and whither I go, you cannot come. Go read it all the way to 24, and then I'll go further.
It said, Whether you go, you cannot come. And he said unto them, Ye are from beneath, and I am of above. Ye are of this world, and I am not of this world. I said therefore unto you, that ye shall die in your sins. For if ye believe not that I am he, you shall die in your sins.
Now looking at, and I'm gonna turn to the page so I can look at it with y'all, and we'll precept it out. Why do y'all think he said what he said? There's a scriptural basis for everything this man just said.
Is that in Ezekiel?
Now we looking at verse 20 or 21, right? He said he will go his way, and you will seek him, and you will die in your sins, and you cannot go where he's going. Why do you think he made that statement? Based on what we're looking at with these two words, because you need to be looking at these two words to see why he made this statement. Because he said, where is he going?
They didn't seek him with all their heart.
He going to Shamayim. So where is he going at in Shamayim?
Going to the king.
So where is he going at? He's going in the tabernacle, correct? He's going in the house of Yah. So guess what that means? He's going in the house. So what did these scribes and Pharisees did not do for them to be able to go where he's going?
They didn't clean themselves.
So that means they did not accept the sacrifice of the head to get in the house. This is why they're dying in their sins. We read something about this in Proverbs chapter 1 last night. Did he not say, get it for him, 1 and 21. Because what does John chapter 1 say? He said he came into his own what? Received him not. So I mean, he brought the word to these people and they rejected it. What did they reject? They rejected his sacrifice. Therefore, they will die in their sins. This is what, going back to what we read in the 2 Chronicles 15. Anybody who don't want to enter into this covenant is killed. Because it says darash for seek in that particular verse. So if you're not seeking the head, which is the sacrifice of the head, you can't get in the house. What did this man say in John chapter 14? In my Father's house there's what? And he said he goes to do what? He said, if it wasn't so, I would have told you. So he was telling them that he's preparing a place in his Father's house. How else can you get in the house? You must sacrifice to get in the house. We seen in both instances in Chronicles that we looked at in 11 and 15 that what did those people do both times? They made sacrifices. And they separated themselves. So if you're going to get it in, you have to make a sacrifice, and you have to do it by the head to separate yourself. That's why you got two different words for seeking, because they're expounding on two different things.
Because it's going to be people that try to get, that make the covenant.
Because what did the master say? Enter in where?
Straight gate.
He said many will try to enter therein and won't be able to. Why will they not be able to? Because usually they won't separate themselves. They're not going to do this here. They're not going to separate themselves. Or they're not going to destroy themselves. They're not going to sacrifice themselves. Because the book tells you in Psalms 50, gather my Kadeshim unto me who have made a covenant by sacrifice. We seen a covenant by sacrifice in 2 Chronicles 15. We seen another covenant by sacrifice in Matthew 26 with Mashiach. So how do you think you're going to take hold of Yah's covenant and not make no sacrifice? You're not going to get in, which means you're not seeking him. You just running your mouth.
Watch that sound.
Oh, no, Henry. No, Henry. That's grown people stuff. You want some? No. Give me your hand. Just this part of your hand. Carry on, sir. You can't get...
It's not food though. I wanted food.
I ain't got no food for you, Henry.
But I saw something. Still lies.
Y'all, does that make sense? You understand what he's saying? This is what I was saying, or I was going to take it and then relate it back to what we've been looking at with these kings. But remember that these kings are stating this to all the people. You know what I'm saying? And what we seen with Jeroboam was what was Jeroboam trying to do. Stop the people from doing this. Which just goes into what it's saying with a lot of false prophets. A lot of false prophets don't really want you to be saved. They really just want the opportunity to get the fame off of you, or make merchandise of you, or take silly women and lay with them, or whatever the case that niggas be doing that the book details. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we talking about earlier about. That's what bearing fruit really is. That's why when the master say you'll know them by their fruit, that meaning your actions. Because your actions will show what you really are or what you really about. If you're really about something, your actions will show that. Because you can talk till you blue in the face. Some of y'all done met some people that talk a real good one and ain't about nothing. Do you know what I'm saying? Or they say, oh, I'm righteous, or I hustle, or I'm a good husband. But then you look at their actions and you be like, well, where it's at? How many niggas you done met that say they take care of their kids and they don't? But they say they do though. How many women you done ran across that say they're a good mama, they got their kids with any and everybody every week? You know what I'm saying? Don't do nothing for them, but let their mouth tell it they're a good parent. I told you about that woman told me she was a good mother, though she left her 3-year-old daughter in the house to go to the club. Good mama how? Where? Your actions say different. So your fruit is always going to be based off what you do and not what you say and not what you know. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all's not going to be looking at what you know. He going to be looking at what you took with what you knew. Because if you took what, because he going to look at if you took this knowledge and you didn't apply it to bear forth the fruits of righteousness, you going to hell. He ain't going to give you nothing on top of how much you knew. Because there's a lot of niggas out here know a lot. And going to hell. Say, shoot, he just said he just doing, y'all already done tried to auction him off. He just say he trying to get a little early. Go ahead and beat him. No, we don't want to fret. We don't need no. Henry! Go ahead, man. Well, I got you.
I was at 1 John.
1 John 5 and 7. Hold on.
John 1. I'm sorry, John 1 and...
I didn't ask for John chapter 1. I just mentioned John chapter 1.
Oh, wow. That should need support, sorry.
No, you're all right there, sir. So when we look at that, that's what he means. So when he tells them that they are from beneath and he is from above, he telling them that they're carnal and he's spiritual. When he said, now according to the law, what can we get for this from being above and from beneath? What you think we could take that towards? Smash it on up there, ain't you, son?
Genesis 1.
Not even Genesis 1. You're gonna take that to Adam. What was Adam made from? What was Hamashiach made from? We read it last night. He was made from the Ruach. Why he was making that statement, even though he was manifested in the likeness of a man by being born of a woman. But get me 1 Corinthians 15 and 45. Henry, we ain't got nothing over here for you, man. I ain't got nothing for you, man. Nothing for you, man. I don't know how I was fooled to think that was the diaper he had on earlier.
Huh?
Earlier. Oh, yeah. Definitely fooled me. 15 and 45. You definitely look like you just had on a pamper from afar. 1 Corinthians 15 and 45. Henry, you need to go over there with your mother. What are you doing, boy? Oh, I thought he was doing something. Where you learned that from? You walked in on your people?
First Corinthians 15 and 45. It says, and so it is written, the first man Adam was made a living soul, and the last Adam was made a quickening ruach. Howbeit that was not the first which is spiritual, but that which is natural, and afterward that which was spiritual. The first man is come of the earth, earthly. The second man is of YAHUAH from heaven.
See the difference? That's why he told them that. Because they were from Adam, and he was from Abba. You from beneath, I'm from above. You of this world, I'm not. I don't come from here. That's why they couldn't go where he was going, because they hadn't sacrificed themselves to make themselves be from above. And if we don't do it, we're not going. Let's look at the next thing, what he stated. So when he said, if you don't believe that you'll die in your sins, if you don't believe that he is he, you will die in your sins. And that's what we're taking back of what we see in 2 Chronicles 15. When you look at a lot of our people, will they believe what we just stated right now? Absolutely not. Most of them won't. I personally don't care. You got some of them who say, Yahushua didn't die for my sins. Okay, he didn't then. So you're going to have to reconcile how this new covenant is brought in effect in Jeremiah 31, because this people scarred then. See, them niggas don't like to answer them questions. Because you can say this here, a covenant cannot be sanctified without blood. Let's let that be known. That can't. They want to. What about Abraham? You talking about a covenant made between his people, how he did it the first time. So you think he gonna do opposite of what he did the first time? I think not. Because if we don't have no covenant, these people's sins are not forgiven, which means we can never be the people of Yahuwah ever again. Which is what we was already gonna been done hit until we were rudely interrupted by our dear theologian there.
What you say with the people that they try to use Isaiah, he put close to his lips and iniquity? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Still ain't no covenant, because he talking about his iniquity purged. But how is the iniquity going to be purged off the whole house of Yasharal according to what's spoken in Jeremiah?
When there was a covenant with multiple parties, it was always blood.
I seen non-Messianic say something.
Yeah, because that's what they're going to have to add. Okay,
Like,
how is he going to bring?
Without blood.
So how is he going to bring in this covenant in Jeremiah? See, I don't care about no Abraham covenant, all that stuff. We ain't talking about that, nigga. We talking about this one, because he said with this one, I won't remember your sins no more. So if this is not in effect, he still remember our sins. And if he remember our sins, Isaiah 59 say, that's got to cause me to be separated from you. So what we going to do with that, Mr. Smart nigga, Mr. I know the book so well, you stupid bastard, I can parse this and parse that. I'm not impressed. Because you can't answer the simple question.
I'm not impressed.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's a simple question. If that covenant is not in effect, that means we still in our sins. And if we still in our sins, Isaiah 59 says, he cannot come near unto us. That calls us to be separated. So that means there has to be a reconciliation to cause that separation to be eliminated. And that reconciliation was by the Yahushua HaMashiach, whether niggas like it or not. And you know what it's coming down to? They don't want to seek after that covenant. So just like he said, they will die in their sins. And that's even for those who claim they've taken hold to said covenant. You will die in your sins. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't really believe that he was he. Because if you believed that he was he, then you would do just like we read in 2 Timothy, you would depart from iniquity. You would make yourself, because guess what? You can say you believe he all you want. If you ain't receive this man Ruach, you still going to hell. Which means you actually didn't believe. Because you didn't produce the peaceable fruits of righteousness from the chastisement of Elohim to be considered to be a son. Do you know how sad that's got to be if y'all test you in a situation and you sin every time? You know what I'm saying? Because after a while, you can't be no son and you steady around here going contrary to what this man tell you to do. After a while, he's going to have to consider you to be a bastard or he's a liar. You know what I'm saying? But don't nobody want to hear that because it make you uncomfortable. Instead of it making you uncomfortable, you should be looking at what do I need to do to change that situation. Most people don't want to look at what they need to do to change that situation because they would rather be comfortable in their sin and wallow in self-pity by or hit them with this the number one Christian line or number two Christian line, one or two, whichever you want to throw it in. He know my heart or he a merciful God. That's niggas lying when you catch them out. You notice niggas don't never say that when they not out of pocket. When you don't catch them out of pocket, you don't hear nobody talking about, y'all, he's a merciful God. You don't hear him talking about that. Catch him out of pocket, first thing you say, he merciful. I bet he is, nigga. You seeking it now. You wasn't talking about it a week ago.
You know what
I'm talking about? You seen y'all too young for Jimmy Swagger. I sinned. He was doing all that crying. Forgive me. You wasn't thinking about this man mercy and forgetting it for then. Because if you know you were walking contrary and this man done took you and cleaned you up, you still be talking about his mercy and forgiveness regardless if you was out of pocket or not. Because you know why? Because you would know that I'm worthy of death. He spared my life. So you not going to try to bring that up when you out of pocket. You going to always take, he merciful, boy. I used to do this here. Now I do this. I used to think like this. Now I think like this. Boy, I remember where I used to be at, or the direction I would head. You don't hear niggas talk like that when they ain't got caught doing nothing. You see, Judas wasn't thinking about no mercy or nothing until he realized what he did. Now all of a sudden somebody forgive me. I done bethought myself. It's too late to bethink yourself, nigga. You should have thought about it before you did it. And look at Esau. What good it did birthright gonna do me? Now when the blessing come around, now you want to cry.
Anything for me?
Ain't nothing for me. Seeking repentance with tears. Y'all say I'm straight, my nigga. You should have kept it the first time. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how niggas do. Niggas don't never want his mercy until they do something they ain't got no business. Now all of a sudden he was a vengeful, wrathful God before you got exposed. Do something out of pocket. He merciful now. He's an understanding God. That's what they like to do now. They'll never like to talk about that. That's the same token niggas like, oh, you talk about it going to hell. No, that's all you heard because that's where you going. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who doing what they supposed to do, they gonna hear the mercy like this is shoot. Cause what we talking about today, that's what you talking about. Right. But if you get out of pocket, gotta catch that wrath though. But they don't want to hear that though. Niggas only hear what applies to them if their heart's not right. You know what I'm saying? Niggas only hear what they want to hear if they heart not. If you talking about righteousness, then that person gonna hear that, but they also gonna hear the part about what's gonna happen if you doing wrong because they fear Yah. They want a complete perspective on his word. If a nigga just want knowledge for knowledge, then he just gonna hear the parts that pertain to knowledge that he feel like other people don't know. You know what I'm saying? If a nigga know he going to hell, then all he gonna hear is the parts of he going to hell. As if somebody said you yourself are going to hell. Nobody said you were, but those words that coming out this man's book, you said you were and you told on yourself. It's the same way coming up in my shit, because my cousin said it, because I done said this in myself in my lifetime. Niggas say, oh, you think you smarter than me. No, you do. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think I said I was smarter than you, nor do I conduct myself in that fashion. You think I'm smarter than you, just told on yourself. You know what I'm saying? So a nigga come up, all he want to do is tell people he going to hell, because you going. You just told on yourself. What's the line we hit when when he say, one of y'all going to betray me, and what did that nigga say? I'll say it, because you know you finna do it. I didn't say you were going to betray me. You just told on yourself. If you pay attention, people tell on themselves. They tell you a lot about them if you just pay attention. Sometimes you got to read in between the lines. Nigga ain't going to spell it out for you. You know what I'm saying? We don't like to do that, though. We just look over and gloss over stuff. Then when somebody do something, you go back in your brain. You be like, dang, that nigga did. I don't even know how I missed that. You know what I'm saying? Come on back, man. Where we at? 2 Chronicles 15. We good at 2 Chronicles 15. I got to hit 2 Chronicles 30, though, before we get out of here. I got to do that. 2 Chronicles chapter 30, man. I want to say probably about verse 15. Make it 13. Verse 13. And y'all willing to pick this point up on another day. Because I had King Josiah on deck too, but he didn't get that today. He didn't get that today. It's all good, though. 2 Chronicles 30 and 13.
It said there assembled at Jerusalem much people to keep the feast of unleavened bread in the second month, a very great congregation.
Why would they be keeping it in the second month, everybody?
For the people that missed it on the first.
It's for the people that, and that's in the law, that's in Numbers. There's a second Passover. So, say for instance, you gave birth and Passover came around and you were still unclean, then he got a provision for you to keep it in the next month if you couldn't make it in the first month. You know what I'm saying? He said that, and I think that came about because somebody had touched a dead body and they was asking, what should we do because we can't keep the Passover? So he slipped that in there. And that's in Numbers chapter 9 if my memory serves me correctly. Go ahead.
I had a quick question about that, though. As far as like with the Levites, it don't make them unclean when they be with the dead body?
That's why he told them they couldn't be with dead bodies unless it was near the kin. They had to let that slide.
We went over that.
You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't next to kin, they couldn't go near no dead body.
Right.
And then if they defiled themselves for that particular purpose, then they had to step aside from their duties until their cleanliness came about.
Right. He said they arose and took away the altars that were in Jerusalem, and all the altars of incense they took away.
You in 2 Chronicles chapter 30. In verse
I already
13?
started. I'm on
Oh.
verse 14 now.
Yo, give me 13 because I ain't never heard 13.
Yes, you did. We just
I'm
talked
just
about
telling
the
you.
great congregation on
No.
the second month.
Oh, okay. What's that? My mind, I'm old, man.
They say, and they arose and took away the altars that were in Jerusalem and all the altars and the incense they took away and cast them to the brook Kidron.
You know what that is? So they taking away what? The wickedness, right? I'm trying to think of in the book of Acts. It talks about how all the people took their books of sorceries before they got immersed and burned them. So when you coming with Yah, you know what that is? If you see they taking and they arose and they taking the altars and the incense away, what are they doing? They're destroying. They're destroying. You got it. Whatever you got in your heart that contrary to the word, you got to destroy it. Whatever you doing, that's what I was going back onto. And I told you before, if you want to be built up, you have to be destroyed first. You know what I'm saying? See, we want to be built up, but you building it up on a faulty foundation. You got to destroy the whole thing, tear up the whole foundation, and lay a new foundation and rebuild from there. You know what I'm saying? Because if you try to build on a faulty foundation or stuff that's going back to, you can't put new wine in old bottles. See, people don't want to destroy stuff because then they have to face the ugly, hard truths about themselves. That's why people say, you're not building me up. That goes back to what we were talking about earlier about how the entitlement and the self-esteem and how society is now. Because 50, 60 years ago, people didn't look at it that way. You know what I'm saying? Because they bust people upside their head with the truth, and you just going to have to handle it and do something with it. Now they care about people's feelings and all this, that, then the third, and now people can't correct themselves and change because nobody wants to offend anyone. Or what they like to call political correctness. Nobody wants to offend anybody. Nobody wants to hurt anybody's feelings because we got to take into account your feelings. So those of us that are from a different generation, we look at that like, what's wrong with y'all? You're vaginal. You're soft. You know what I'm saying? Because we weren't raised that way. Dude was telling me in the army it's like that now. And you know in the army they don't care what they say to you. Now he said they gotta be content with people's feelings. They don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. That's crazy to me. Because a lot of these kids, right now, they wouldn't have lasted 40, 50, 60, 70 years ago. They wouldn't have lasted. Most of these kids wouldn't even lasted in the 50s and 60s with the mentality they have now. They wouldn't have lasted. Because it was a tougher environment and a tougher time. But in my personal opinion, I believe they fostering a generation like this because it makes you easier to manipulate. It just is. You know what I'm saying? They got to use different tactics to manipulate the people. Go ahead.
It says, then they killed the Passover the 14th day of the second month, and the priests and the Levites were ashamed. And they sanctified themselves and brought in the burnt offerings in the house of Yahuwah. And they stood in their place after the manner according to the law.
Children.
The man of Elohim, the priest sprinkled the blood which they received in the hands of the Levites. For there were many in the congregation that were not sanctified. Therefore the Levites had the charge of killing of the Passover for everyone that was not clean, to sanctify them unto Yahuwah.
Yep.
A multitude of people, as many as Ephraim and Manasseh, Issachar and Zebulun, had not cleansed themselves, yet did they eat Passover otherwise than it was written. But Hezekiah prayed for them, saying, the good Yahuwah pardon.
So these people are not clean according to the law to take this Passover. But Hezekiah prayed for them, and then the Levites did the offering for them, and for Yah to accept them. But let's look at what verse 19 says.
It says that prepared his heart to seek Elohim. And Yahuwah Elohim of his fathers, though he be not cleansed according to the purification of the sanctuary.
Go ahead.
And Yahuwah hearkened unto Hezekiah and healed the people. Now
what word you think for seek would be in this verse for those who prepared his heart? Now the word for prepare is I don't want to mispronounce it. The word for prepare in this verse is kum. And it means to be firm or to be established, to be fixed to right and to be steadfast. So which word for seek you think would be in this verse? What you think would be in that verse, Stanley? The word for seek, what you think would be in that verse?
What would be in that verse?
In verse 19, you say though? Yeah.
Probably the Darash.
What you think, Derek? What you think, dog?
It says that he prepared his heart to seek Elohim, Yahuwah of his fathers, though he be not cleansed according to the purification of the sanctuary. And Yahuwah hearkened to Hezekiah and healed the people.
And it is the Darash. That's the word that's used there. So these are the people who have sacrificed themselves by the head. You know, now you know what should point us to that? Because it's Passover. It's Passover. Now, with some of these contexts with either one of these words, when you see it, you should be able to tell without actually looking first, if you can kind of look at the context of what's going on. Because if we look at what's going on, then we could be able to rightly deduce that Darash would be the word because it's Passover. And in order for them to enter, and because what happened during the first Passover, they had to put the blood where? On the doorpost. You know what I'm saying? So you knowing that this is what's supposed to go down. But he said anybody who firmly established themselves. So this takes us back to when the master said, I came to call sinners, not the righteous, to repentance. Because these people are not cleansed according to the purification of the sanctuary. Meaning they're not supposed to be able to take this sacrifice. Right. But we know the whole house of Yasharal was not cleansed according to the purification of the sanctuary when Yahushua came in the flesh. So we were not supposed to get a sacrifice. You didn't deserve it. That's why we read that Ephesians 2, and it ties back to what we read last night. By favor you are saved. Because what did it say y'all did? He hearkened unto Hezekiah. He said to forgive the sins of the people. Which takes us back to when the master said, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. So when you look at this here, right? When you have firmly established in your mind and in your heart to actually seek the sacrifice of Yahuwah, this is what's going to get you in that house. When we look at all these people, we look at them people in 2 Chronicles 11, and we look at 2 Chronicles 15, or we look at 30, all these people made a conscious decision that they were going to seek after Yah. They all made that decision. They all made a decision that they were going to offer themselves and get that up. Let's go to Romans 5 and 3, and we'll stop right there, man.
It says, and not only so, but we esteem the tribulations also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience, and patience experience, and experience hope. And hope maketh not ashamed, but the love of Elohim is shed abroad in our hearts by the Ruach HaKodesh, which is given unto us. Mm-hmm. For when we were yet without strength, in due time the Mashiach died for the ungodly.
Was our people not without strength in 2 Chronicles 30? Go ahead.
For scarcely for a righteous man will one die, yet peradventure for a good man some would even dare to die.
Yep.
But Elohim commended his love towards us, in that while we were yet sinners, Mashiach died for us.
You not see that in 2 Chronicles chapter 30? That they were yet sinners, were they not? Offering that Passover lamb to forgive the people for their sins, though they deserved it not. Go ahead.
Much more then, being now justified by his blood, we shall be saved from the wrath through him. Mm-hmm. For if when we were enemies, we were reconciled to Elohim by the death of his son, mm-hmm. much more being reconciled, we shall be saved by his life. And not only so, but we also joy in Elohim through our master Yahushua Mashiach.
And then we didn't read that in that story of Passover because the people joyed greatly. Greatly. Go ahead. Go ahead.
My eyes is hurting. Alright. He said, for we were, okay, and not only so, but we also joy in Elohim through our Savior Yahushua Mashiach, through whom we have now received the atonement. Wherefore, as by one man sin entered into the world, and death by sin, and so death passed upon all men, for that all have sinned. For until the law, sin was in the world, but sin is not imputed when there is no law. Nevertheless, death reigned from Adam to Moses, even over them that had not sinned after the similitude of Adam's transgression. Go ahead. Who is the figure of him that was to come. But not as the offense, so also is the free gift.
That's a free gift.
For if through the offense of one many be dead, much more the grace of Elohim and the gift of grace which is by one man, Yahushua Mashiach.
Pause. And that's what we sat back that you see from each instance of 2 Chronicles 11, 2 Chronicles 15, and 2 Chronicles 30, which tied back to seeking his strength continually. Because if you sought his strength, you sought that his weakness, which would give you power. But I mentioned something in Philippians. My bad. Give me Philippians 3 and 13.
I thought about it. Through Hezekiah, grace was shown on the people to forgiven even though they weren't clean.
They wasn't clean. It wasn't right. Through one man, that was it. That's all that. It's right there. But see, like I told you with the dude when he was talking about tongues, they want a verse quoted. You know what I'm saying? You can't, and that's what I mean about practical application. If you don't practically apply the word, then there's no way that you can see that. You know what I'm saying? You could study it all day long. The reason why I said that because I had a dude that he's very learned. You could even consider him to be a scholar if you so chose. And we were talking about Isaiah 28 and 11. And he could not see that Acts chapter 2 was the fulfillment of Isaiah 28 and 11 with him speaking to the people in other tongues because he wanted it spelled out. Because he couldn't see the practical application of what was written in his face. The same token of what we just read in Romans 5 lines up to what YAHUAH did. It was exactly what you see in 2 Chronicles chapter 30. There was some people would not see that because they don't practically apply the word. So they would say, you stretching, you reaching. That's not what it says. It's not talking about that because they're not actually living it to even see. Dang, that's the same thing the master did. I can see that clear as day. By one man, all the people were forgiven. Just like Mashiach. And he asked for Yah to forgive all the people even though they weren't right. Just like Mashiach. And they offered a sacrifice because the people sanctified themselves by a destruction to come into the house because all of them were trying to get into the temple that was in Jerusalem to worship Yah. And they couldn't get in there without a proper sacrifice. And people can't see that because they're not actually applying it. You know what I'm saying? See, we all know you have learned knowledge, learned wisdom, and then you have applied knowledge and applied wisdom. And the word means nothing if it's not actually applied. Because we know a lot of brothers know a lot of information. The case in point, we were talking to that dude on the phone with Mike. I don't doubt that brother has a lot of knowledge and information just by his speech. I can tell that brother probably knows a lot, but clearly he don't apply the word in a particular sense for him to really understand what it's talking about, because we were speaking on basic matters that were going completely over his head. Am I lying? I'm talking about not nothing complex, not nothing deep, basic matters, and it was he couldn't see it. He thinking the nigga talking crazy to the point he did. At least he was wise enough to keep his mouth shut. You know what I'm saying?
It was.
As the conversation went on, because he began, or like when we had Lamar on the phone and he told Musha, sounds like he's speaking a higher understanding than Aki, because it went over his head. But to the person,
it went over my head.
No, I'm talking about Musha.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? But you could clear, because we know clearly couldn't have went over Lamar's head based on his statement. You know what I'm saying? But why does that statement go over Musha's head and not Lamar's? Because we could be able to deduce Lamar probably practically applies the word, so it's very easy for him to see that versus a man who does not.
He wasn't offended at all.
At all. You know what I'm saying? At all. And it boils down to that, because I don't know, because I'm not around that dude to know how he lived. Like I say, he caught that and it didn't fly over his head, and another person did. Why didn't
not catching it can imply him not applying the word?
Exactly.
Why he denied that, he ended up finding out he didn't believe him.
And it ended up proving it out in the end. It was proven over time because he ended up discarding him. That's even without any of the multitude of jokes that we could bring up about. But you know what I'm saying? Because I got plenty, even still after this long period of time. Nevertheless, Philippians 3 and 3, because I got a lot. I can bring one up.
Your business.
Nah, I ain't gonna bring one up. We all know what he likes to do in his spare time. Everybody knows. It's not a secret.
3 and 3?
13.
Yes. I see it a lot.
3 and 13 Philippians.
Philippians. Yes. Wait till I finish. It say, brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forth unto those things which are before. I press towards the mark for the prize of the high calling of Elohim and Yahushua Mashiach. Let us therefore, as many as be perfect, be thus minded, and
Ain't nothing up here for y'all.
anything ye be otherwise minded, Elohim shall reveal even this unto you. Nevertheless, whereto we have already attained, let us walk by the same rule. Let us mind the same thing. Brethren, be ye fathers together of me, and mark them which walk also ye have had us for an example. For many walk, of whom I have told you often, and now tell you even weeping, that they are the enemies of the
That's what I meant to hit when we were reading about anybody who don't want to enter into that covenant. They ought to be put to death because they're the enemy of the sacrifice. A lot of people are the enemy of the sacrifice because they don't want to make that sacrifice. That's why he said that, what profit of man if he gain the whole world and lose his soul? Because if you want to enter into this man's kingdom, you're going to have to lose something.
Careful, Mari.
See, like when we were reading that verse, and I didn't line that up too, that's my fault, now it's coming back to my mind. When we read that verse when we started in 2 Chronicles 11, how it say all the people left out all the lands and all those places and all that stuff and came to enter in to seek Yahuwah and things of that nature, that take you back to when the Master said in Matthew 19, all those that have forsaken homes and wives and children shall receive 100-fold in the kingdom. Because that's exactly what those people did. Those people walked away from everything they had for Yahuwah. This is why the Master come back behind that later and say the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to do that, why? Because they're seeking to be sanctified by that sacrifice. If you're not willing to actually sacrifice yourself, if something is not going to be destroyed, released, sacrificed, or relinquished, you're not going to get in the door, which means you're not going to get in Yahushua, because he is the door. You know what I'm talking about? Which means you're not going to get in the house, which is Jerusalem, which is the temple, which is him and his father. And we know what the book says about that. And on the outside of the city there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Hallelujah for Yahushua. Damn, about me, brother. Smarty art, nigga, you.